You're talking about all men. Woo! You're talking about all men.
Even though the circumstances hurt, if we try, oh baby, we know it's do or die. Should we make it work? We should make this work. Or is it right to feel, baby, let me know it's do or die. We can make this work. We should make this work. If we try, baby, even though it's do or die, we can make this work.
You're talking about all men.
2, 3, Mike in the nightlight street. I won't let you worry about a thing. No, no.
You're talking about all men.
I won't let you worry about a thing. We can make this work. I won't let you worry about a thing.
I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching this transmission. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky to your cabin in the woods, or just couch surfing, or maybe on your road trip. I mean, are you allowed to go through checkpoints? Are there really checkpoints? Or relaxing in your lazy boy. People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m. and something's moving you. Because you're tuned into Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. Just when you think it's done, just when you can't go on, tag along tonight on Mike in the Night. Let's talk it through. Hashtag Mike in the Night. Intro track by Rafi.co.New Zealand. Man, do I have an interesting show for you guys tonight. Put together. I got a little bit early here. Took my son to work today. Really good day. He was actually very productive today at the shop. Kind of understanding. He's only 6, but he's understanding the way of retail. You know, greeting people, sweeping the floors, learning skills like understanding, reading things. Like, not reading like letters, but reading the situation, understanding what is going on. Oh, yeah, they got the chat rolling tonight pretty fast here. Money printing is destroying Canada and the U.S., says Arthur. Howdy all. Mike, ready for the farm. Woo! It is Mike in the Night. Guys, I'm very excited that everybody...
You're talking about all men.
...is here to join us tonight. So we got some people early in the morning in Europe already tuned in tonight. We got people from New Zealand, all across the Commonwealth, people from Australia, and yep, oh yeah, triple house, triple mask, Ryan House Cartoons is saying. All right, let's do a quick channel plug and let's get to tonight's show. We got so many headlines. You're going to see a lot of arm bashing tonight, because there's so much arm bashing need to go on tonight, because I don't even know. Like, you know, I don't know. All right, let's move it on. All right, let's pick up a quick channel plug here before we go on to the actual show. Okay, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Guys, do not forget to tune in for next week's Mike in the Night Wake Up. Please tune in next week for Mike in the Night. Housing Takeover this Wednesday. Give us your money. Housing Takeover. And don't forget to set your reminders for that. Guys, don't forget to shop Teespring. I finally got it approved after a couple of lawyer letters written. I finally got the Amerifornia t-shirt made. Amerifornia t-shirt is available. It's a little pricey though, but you know what? Support the system. Support the man. There's the link to it. The new Amerifornia t-shirt comes in many sizes. And I Love Amerifornia, and it's got the Mike Martin's channel logo at the bottom. Don't forget to check it out when you get some time on the Mike Martin shop. I Love Amerifornia is here, and yeah. Okay, guys, message me. Thank you for messaging me on Instagram. Send me messages on Instagram, and it's not being blocked. I'm not even plugging my Facebook because I don't even care. And guys, don't forget to check out artbydano.com. Artbydano.com, not your typical art. There we go. New releases. He's doing what I'm telling him. Thank you very much. Last week's show, I said, Dano, throwing you release. Wow. Look at that. So there you go, guys. Sketches in the mail by Dano. Art by Dano. Dano is one of us, so please support him. And music by Ralphie.co.New Zealand. Don't forget to subscribe to his YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to support the transmission here. Guys, Ralphie's got a 24-hour transmission that he has to pay for, and there are replays of Mike in the Night that's happening here. So he's got replays of Mike in the Night, so if you're taking a long drive, go ahead and listen to it. Tether your phone with your car and listen to replays of all kinds of stuff that's going on. All right, people of the night, you're tuned in to Mike in the Night. I hope everybody's doing real good out there. I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes. Ooh, 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 ooh. I got a new attitude. And this is the way we're going to start, I guess, approaching this pile of crap that they're trying to pour over us. They're not pouring sugar over us. They're pouring on crap. Whether it's coming from, I don't even know if I could say the word on the channel, but you know what I'm saying. It's coming from everywhere, whether it's on our mainstream media, whether it's on our social media, and it's being shoved down your throat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show you shoved down your throat what I'm talking about here. I'll show you right here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Today, I went to Google. And look at this. Band-Aids everywhere. Representation of the jab. Jab it right there. Representation. Representación de lo jab. Oh yeah. That's what it's called. Now if you go into actual Google. Oh, it's supposed to have a little bit of a it's supposed to have a little Band-Aid over the Google. I've seen it already today. It's like, and the problem is they're playing it off like the whole world wants this. Everybody wants. This is the best thing that ever happened. Let's give you a blood vaccine for a lung infection. Yeah! What? Clapping. God bless America. Guys, we got King Cash YouTube in the house. King Cash YT in the house. I'm going to ask everyone to go over and please subscribe to his channel. He just commented there. Please check him out. King Cash YT. Check him out. He just commented propaganda. And if you don't mind going over and subscribing to his channel, I'd really appreciate it. All right. All right. We got somebody in Tokyo messaging me. It's 11:05 in the morning here, and I'm tuned into Mike in the Night here in Mike in the morning in Tokyo, having my coffee. So it's Sunday, 11:05, 49 seconds in the morning. Then we got Jake Stees in London. Hello, mate. It is 3:06 in the morning here, or 3:05 in the morning. It is Sunday morning, and I'm up for Mike in the Night. And we got another gentleman in the comments there that's in Germany right now too. John Wayne is in the comments. He's also up in the morning to watch Mike in the Night. Hope everybody's doing all right. Let's go into some headlines, guys. I just picked a few here for you guys just to help people out, to help transition them into this BS. So tonight, I kind of want to talk about the engineering. So the engineering of things. So there's this, I'm going to go over this headline, then we're going to come back to it later. I'm going to try and get the Raven on the show, because the Raven was actually showing me and kind of depicting what is happening via visual video and showing me the full trains, full loaded with either wood, oil, all kinds. Is there really a lumber shortage? Are they engineering a lumber shortage? Why not engineer a lumber shortage? The question is, a lot of people would ask, why would they engineer a lumber shortage for? Why would they want to make the price of housing go higher? The correct question people on this channel will ask, why not create a lumber shortage? It's great for them. It's bad for us. So why wouldn't they do it? Why? Why wouldn't they do it? It makes absolute perfect sense to do something like this to us. I mean, half the world's asleep. 80% of the world's in dream la la land. But we have to approach it by dismissing it immediately by saying, they wouldn't do that to us. They wouldn't engineer a lumber shortage. Hey, that's terrible. They wouldn't do that to us. Yes, they would. And they did it. So let's go on to the article here. This is a big dealy-wheelie here. One of the most important things we've learned over the past is vulnerability of global supply chains, most notably supply distributions of lumber have catapulted prices to the moon. The narrative touted in the public domain that this is that COVID sparked the dramatic underestimate in the capacity by sawmills early in the pandemic. The Federal Reserve slashed interest rates to zero. Yeah, to zero. Sparking a housing boom. Well, the housing boom, like let's clear a bit of air here. The housing boom was already booming the day of the new president-elect in the United States of America. It's been booming in Canada since 2010. Australia, New Zealand, it's been going on for 2010 now in English-speaking countries. America's behind. America, give it some time. In a place in the middle of nowhere is going to cost you $400,000 or $500,000 just to start before the bidding war start for a house, let's say 200 miles outside of a major city. Watch what's going to happen. So, in terms of output, the lumber industry is controlled by just a handful of firms, just like our meat industry. Back in the early turn of the 20th century, we had tens of thousands of slaughterhouses. We had tens of thousands of meat distribution plants. Now, we got, 4 or 5 major plants that pretty much control, that have the muscle to control what is happening. Kind of makes you wonder why they want that dominance over whether it's our food, wood, oil. Things that make you say, huh. All right, let's go back here. Sorry, wrong background. In terms of output, lumber industry is controlled by just a few handful of firms, including Weyerhaeuser.co, Georgia Pacific LLC, West Fraser Timber Company Lot, among others, which makes it easier for capacity to be controlled. Maybe there's more to lumber story that we're not being told and should be investigated more in depth by journalists. Well, journalists are focused on COVID. That's it. If it doesn't relate to COVID deaths, COVID food, COVID party, COVID restrictions, COVID lockdowns, COVID brotherhood, COVID on Mars, then it doesn't apply to today's standards of journalism, right? Or, unfortunately, Donald Trump is no longer in power. The entire agenda was bashing Donald Trump for 4 years, making fun of him that he wouldn't get elected. Then he gets elected, and then they bash the crap out of him and try and change the rules, renegotiate the rules as they went along so that he could get kicked out. Recently published a video of huge quantities of lumber sitting and not in lumber yards. The exact location of the video is not mentioned. It could be near Lyndonville, Vermont. So let's take a look at these lumber mills here. So here it is. Not lumber mills, but lumber. Look at all that. Wow. He said, I'm astonished by how much lumber is here. And I'm wondering why there is such a problem at lumber yards. He added, the facility stretches 3/8 of a mile. Oh, yeah. That's just the one they found. What about the other 200 locations like this? This is the one that's been uncovered. This video has more than 300,000 views and over 1,300 comments in just a few weeks. One person said, Guy, could it be to keep the price gouging profits up? This whole excuse that it's due to COVID bullcrap needs to stop. Okay, before COVID, pre-COVID, it was Donald Trump's fault. A lady falls down the stairs in Tibet. It's Donald Trump's fault. They find life on Mars. Bill Gates gets a new sweater. But a plane crashes somewhere in the Himalayas. It's Donald Trump's fault. But now it's got to be COVID, full-time COVID. Yeah. So we got Donaire saying inflation's here. Just ask Warren Buffett. Metal Gear Mark III is Bitcoin is gold 2.0. Anna Keys, keep buying physical silver. Every ounce counts. That's correct. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Mr. Spanky's late. Scotty saying, nice lid, Mike. Yeah, somebody from Atlanta sent me this. Atlanta, Georgia sent me this hat. Terry Tony says, the Antichrist wants it all. Mitch Bannon says, Lord, glad to hear the silver drive is on fire. I had a third small order in my shopping cart, AU piece dollars, but just couldn't pull the trigger. Near double the price I paid last year. Yeah, I got several hundred ounces of silver. I bought my silver way back, like in 2012. Do you remember when silver was like, I think I overpaid for some of it in 2011 or 2012. I bought quite a bit of silver. And I never cared to sell it. I didn't need to sell it. I didn't need to put it for sale. I don't need the money, but still, it's a very, very long-term investment. So it goes on to say here, so could the lumber industry controlled just by a few players be pulling a playbook straight out of the diamond industry to limit supply to drive up prices? You bet you it is. All right. In Vienna, Iran, P41 agreed to continue talks with more speed. Seriousness. This is not good. It's not good for, depending on what side of the chessboard you're sitting on. This is good for Iran, but it's not good for America.
Hello, everyone. We don't have victories anymore.
All right, guys, Vienna talk focus on reviving the JCPOA by bringing the United States back into an accord and lifting all sanctions that Washington has imposed on Tehran. Okay, here it is. Some good news if you're living in California. California gives 76,000 inmates, mostly violent criminals, a chance for earlier release amid prison population cuts. So there it is there, and that is, if you're living in California, congratulations. Not only are you living in a poop show, but you know what I'm saying, right?
You're not a nice person.
All right, let's keep moving on. Sorry, there's a huge conversation going on outside the door here, so I'm trying to stay focused. There's a massive conversation through this wall here, and I'm trying to stay on par with you guys here. Sorry about that. Okay, let's move on. How Costco is making 14% profit, price jump with shrinkflation. So remember we did a Mike in the trends in Commonwealth for common folks on Wednesday. We discussed this, guys, if you guys remember. There it is right there. Costco is making a 14% price jump with shrinkflation. We have previously written about shrinkflation and creative masking, so you're paying more for less. They're going to get you. They're going to get you tonight. Shrinkflation is gonna get you. Shrinkflation is gonna get you. Shrinkflation is gonna get you. Yeah, I know it's not funny. Look at this. Strong. Thick. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Huge fire breaks out at Israel's oil refinery in Haifa. So there it is, a fire there in Haifa. It goes on to say the factory's emergency team immediately began working to extinguish the blaze, and rescue forces were called to the site to gain control of the flames. And Covey, we're talking about Covey. Belgian police fire water cannons to clear hundreds of anti-lockdown protests. Okay, it wasn't hundreds, it was actually a couple of thousand, but they always do that in the media, where it's either a pro-Trump protest. People in America are watching. That's Belgium, Mike. What are you talking about? What am I talking about? New Zealand has been spinning lockdown protests when they were in heavy lockdown as pro-Trump protests. So has Australia and the UK. So there it is right there. Belgian police officers fire water cannons to clear hundreds off of anti-lockdown protesters. Witnesses in the Bois de la Cambre Park in Brussels saw fireworks set off and some missiles thrown before the police moved in. A helicopter and drone hovered overhead. What, for 100 people? No, I just style. But protesters, music, but drowned out the police demands for masking and social distancing. Look at this guy. This guy's ready to go to Mars. Look at this guy's dressed. Look at this. He's got level 90 armor, Halo gear here. Look at this. Halo heirloom gear with steel tip shoes. Are these citizens or the police? Are they pulling one of those Canada things where in Canada they're pulling, what they pull in Canada is they get citizens on patrol now to come and visit you if you call 911 and they bill you for a visit? Or are they pulling our citizens on patrol, or what is this? I don't know. These people don't look like riot or riot gear or police gear. Or maybe they're friends and they're what? But why would they be friends if he's not wearing the mask and they all are? This guy, what kind of mask? What's this guy wearing? Is this like a plutonium grade? I'm just trying to zoom in on this guy's. What is this? A plutonium grade? Man, they didn't even wear that in Back to the Future. When Doc and Marty were putting in the plutonium in the DeLorean, didn't even wear a mask. This high tech. Wow. It goes on to say here that as the clearance operation began, there was little immediate sign of violent resistance from protesters, but dustbin was set on fire and the crowd retreated. Oh my God, they lit on fire a dustbin. Oh my God. All right, let's move on to, is this Inglaterra? Nope. This is May Day protesters demand more job protections as pandemic plummels economies. For labor leaders, the day was the test of their ability to mobilize workers in the face of profound economic disruptions. In Turkey and the Philippines, police cracked down on rallies enforcing COVID lockdowns. Yeah, we're trying to, it's kind of funny. If you go back to these shows in November, December of 2019, in Mike in the Night, you could go back and see them. They're all there. And someone's backing them up and putting them up on blockchain so they don't disappear. There were. The whole world was in protests. Albania, Armenia, what was that country there? What was in Russia, Canada, Hong Kong, France, Argentina, Colombia. So many countries Brazil were in constant protest and rioting. They wanted to use climate lockdowns to stage the event, to lock down the planet, to stop the looting and protesting and crashing. But COVID did it. COVID was the best hook, line, and sinker. Move it in. So we got Wade the Scrapper saying soon they will be calling for the beheading of anyone not vaccinated, thinking everything will go back to normal. Reminds me of the Dark Ages and the witch war that the witches won. Yeah, witch hunt. So there it is right there. Workers' union leaders dusted off loud hailers and flags that had stayed furled during the COVID lockdowns for slim, I don't even know why they're writing this so dramatically, but there it is right there. that is their May Day protests. Oh, this is a good one. So if you're living in America, state intelligence leaders say mystery sonic weapon attacks on U.S. officials increasing. So there it is. Sonic weapons. And we talked about this, I think, in a show back in 2017. And we talked about HARP and all that other weird stuff. It was starting last week that the mysterious incident returned to a national media spotlight after defense officials say they believe Russia is likely behind microwave energy weapons attack on U.S. troops in northeast Syria. Okay, here's a question. What the hell is America doing in northeast Syria? Get the hell out of the Middle East. If this petrodollar, protecting a petrodollar right now, it's not in the cards right now. I don't think you need to be in the Middle East right now. I wish the Middle East major export was broccoli and not oil, and then there would be no problems in the Middle East. Well, they'd be creating divide and faction wars and arming both sides. Usually that's what they do. They do. Sorry, I gotta wet my beak here. All right. Let's move it on. Streets set on fire as police and May Day protesters battle in Berlin. Oh, there's the dustbin. No, that's another one. Dozens separate protests took place in Berlin, drawing demonstrators from across the political spectrum. Police had their hands full, and some of these groups started fires and smashed cars. Let's move on. Group warns over expansionist Turkish plan to build the base in Iraq. So, yeah, Turkey's been always on the verge of expansion. You saw what happened in Armenia and all that stuff. So, right there, that's to the Young Turks right there. All right, let's move on. Biden interfering in Mexico's efforts to block genetically modified corn. Come on, why would Joe Biden do that? Why would Biden block a country or try? Yeah, come on. Joe's a good guy. Joe's for the people. Joe's for the people. And one thing I don't understand is why would the Biden administration care about what, if Mexico wants to block genetically modified corn to not feed its people it, then they should leave them alone. But why is this administration, instead of sticking its nose in its own problems that it has and that's been having since all this BS started happening and all this media wars we're going through and economic takeover we're going through and this sickness and blah, blah, blah. Ooh, Scott Horeca has just joined the channel. Welcome to the family. Thank you, Scott. Guys, don't forget to join the channel if you want. We got Steven Sewell saying, I love Amtrak. And then we have Craig Cook saying, yep, the CPP people, U.S. Farm Bill created South American poverty. That's correct. Does anyone know what that bill was called? I know what V-Man 293 is talking about. So someone's saying Joe Bribin. I got a story from the whole Giuliani, Rudy Giuliani. His apartment was raided by the FBI or CIA or one of those alphabet organizations came in and raided his apartment because he was representing Trump as a lawyer and all this stuff. And they basically did not take Hunter Biden's laptop. They said, well, there's Hunter Biden's laptop there. If you like it, we're using it for evidence. And we don't want that laptop. They didn't take the laptop because they're going to have to investigate it if they take it. So they just we don't want that laptop. So, I mean, it's so one-sided. It's the biggest BS. One-sided BSing I haven't seen in the longest time. So we got Anna Key saying the belt and road gun in Australia. We got Daniel score up in the house. Woo! Yeah. Woo! All right, so Mexico's efforts of blocking genetically modified corn. A coalition of 80 U.S. agriculture, consumers, environmental, public health, and worker groups sent letter on Thursday of key figures right there. Key figures in Biden administration calling for them to respect Mexico's sovereignty and refrain from interfering. I think America should refrain and interfere in people's lives and passing these BS bills that are just going to cripple their own people. And yeah, so they don't want genetically modified corn in Mexico. So yeah, I think they should start respecting. You know what? They're going to start doing all kinds of crap when they don't get their way. Look at what they're doing to us now. They're not getting their way. Look what they're doing to us. And they're all laughing at us right now. Oh, yeah, they're laughing. North Korea says Biden policy shows U.S. is intent on being hostile and vows to respond. A foreign ministry spokesman accused Washington of insulting the dignity of the country's leadership by criticizing North Korea's human rights situation. Under the police announced on Friday, Biden has settled on a new approach to pressuring North Korea to give up nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. I don't think North Korea is going to give up anything. I don't think North Korea should give up anything. I'll put a poll up. We'll go over the polls right now, actually. Before I forget, let's go over the polls we had this week for what you guys are thinking out there. Let's go over what you guys are thinking here. Let me go to the channel here. Let's go to community. You could find it on the community channel here on the channel. You're more than welcome to get on and okay, let's go over a few articles here. I want to go over them real quick here. So, mistakes in Victorian initial hotel quarantine program put people at risk of contracting HIV. Then we have another one, and I commented on this screenshot here. People are truly being put through hell. COVID crisis. Australians trying to return home from India face up to $66,000 fine or 5 years in jail. Look at that. 5 years in behind bars. Deny everything. China. Hold on. Where's my I
love China.
China denies evidence that slaves make its solar panels. So the evidence doesn't exist, and you know, because now it's 2021. Evidence means nothing. You could have a laptop with all kinds of garbage and illegal stuff on there and illegal transactions on there. Here's the evidence. Take it. Take the evidence. Put him in jail. No. That's not evidence. We don't need that. All right.
China.
All right, let's go back. So China denies evidence that slaves make its solar panels. There it is right there. So, yeah. This is not a drill. I posted this one here. Foreign advisory advisory in U.S. skies. Ex-Pentagon UFO investigator warns odd sightings could mark an intel failure on level of 9/11. Are they preparing us for a phony takeover or a phony first contact? Hey, I wouldn't put it past them anymore. Wouldn't put it past anybody anymore if they try to. Okay, so let's go to some of the what you guys voted here. Can someone set me straight, please? What wave are we on? On news cycles, one news cycle says 3, the other says it's still second wave, and apparently there's a 5th wave variant, ball juice. Okay? Now, my question is, that was the question. We got 152 people vote. We are in a second wave, 3%. We are in a third wave, 14%. We are in a fourth wave, 3%. We are in a fifth wave, 7%. And 74% of the people that voted says they make this shit up to stop people from protesting. There it is right there. 74%. I think the people are catching on to it. There's an older video I posted up there. Wow. Ready for this? Inside Cambodia's lockdown, if you leave the house, you could get beaten. You could be beaten. If you stay home, you might starve.
I love China.
Giuliani. So this is the thing. Nothing to see here, folks. Giuliani, FBI refused Hunter Biden's hard drives during the illegal unconstitutional rave. A rave. I wish it was a rave. It was a raid. So it's kind of scary that they're taking lists. They're checking them twice. They're going to find out who voted for Trump or for Biden, because they're going to be coming to town. They know when you are sleeping, and they know when you are awake. They know if you voted for Trump or Biden, so be good, for goodness sake.
Mexico.
Yeah, Papa Piss is saying, Scott, true, lots of sightings in news cycles now. Are they prepping us for this? So they could say, we told you we were seeing things. We told you. It's like the warm-up, the warm-up. Wait. Are we not in the third? That's why I put up that chart for you guys. That's why I put the chart up. Watch this. Are we not in the third BS wave? That's what I wrote here. Hong Kong experts warn of possible fifth wave. Fifth wave. Thank you, Anthony, for the $5. Hong Kong experts. Hong Kong experts. No offense to Hong Kong people. I mean, no offense. I've been to Taiwan, but I wouldn't even want a Hong Kong expert to tell me what to eat for dinner. I wouldn't even want a Hong Kong expert to tell me what kind of car I should drive and buy. I wouldn't even... It's like trying to get yourself set up on a date through a Hong Kong expert. Hong Kong experts warn. Who are these experts? We got Ricky Ricardo saying, remember something, Mike, before they put something in effect, they need to practice COVID. Is a practice for something evil they have already. So sites is a practice. I think that's a spelling mistake, but that's okay. Yeah, we are in a fifth wave, Ripley. Apparently, according to Hong Kong experts. Hong Kong experts are telling us this. These experts. I bet you these experts, I'm willing to bet $1,000 that if you take them through a major city in New York and tell them to drive for an hour, I'll bet you they get into 3 accidents. These Hong Kong experts are telling us. Everybody, when I had hair, my barber was an expert. My barber was an expert in global warming. In 97, 98, we're going to be underwater. Florida's going to be underwater by 2007. Florida's doing good. Actually, it's receding a bit, the water in Florida. It's a little bit above sea level, a little higher than sea level than they expected. I know a mechanic who fixes cars, who told me he knows everything about the variants in all these variants in this, and he's already got his shot, and he got his booster shot. He petitioned to get the booster shot early because he wants to protect himself. A mechanic who changes oil on a vehicle is now a COVID expert. Woo! All right. Let's move on here. I would rather watch 6 hours straight of blank than watch BS mainstream media. So people would rather watch 6 hours of what? 13% reruns of Who's the Boss. 25% says reruns of Alf. Reruns of Miami Vice, 24%. Reruns of Charles in Charge, 4%. And PBC Public Television from Detroit, 1982, 34%. Would rather watch PPC Public Television Detroit, 1982, than watch the mainstream media. Which country will implement the digital reserve currency first? Australia, 16%. United States of America, 33%. Canada, 27%. New Zealand, 11%. And the United Kingdom, 13%. If you ask me, I think Canada is right at the gate right now to start to get this rolling. Here it is. It's right here. Here it is. Bank of Canada exploring digital currency that would replace cash to track how people spend their money. Track how we spend our money. Why? Who cares? This makes zero to no sense. Yeah, they want to know where we're spending our money. We're spending it on something. And this is an actual quote from the great Canadian leader here. Let me full screen this because you guys won't believe this, but this is actual quote from our leader in Canada. I admire Chinese basic dictatorship. It gets things done. Justin Trudeau. Well, there it is right there. Such a nice guy. All right, I won't bring that up anymore. All right, what else we got here? Oh, yeah. So just so you know, attention creators, Google's asking for like 46 pages of paperwork to be scanned and sent to them for AdSense. For my $100 a month I get from, or $80 a month or whatever I get from AdSense, they actually want pages and pages and pages. I sent this to my accountant, the link, he looked at it, he scratched his head and said, it's gonna take him like 4.5 hours to get all the paperwork that they're asking. Like, he's got to go through all this and paperwork and this and back taxes and that. They want 4 years notice of assessments. They want this. Man, I could walk to Utah by the time I find all that crap. All right, we got people joining us in the chat here. We got Anna Keys here, Ricky Ricardo's here, Blunt News is here. We got Scott. Yeah, Scott's like, boo! Yeah, Justin is a sellout to the commies. We know that. It's this destructive behavior by our leaders. Well, let's look at some stats, if that's okay with you. Let's go to stats time. It's stats time on Mike in the Night. Biden at 100 days and the second least popular president since 1953. He was actually the first president to get booed at the Super Bowl, and it's the first president to fall up a flight of stairs. I think he's the first person that ever existed to fall up a flight of stairs 3 times, and I think he's got that record. I think nobody's got that. Like, that's have ever existed on this planet, has fallen up a set of stairs 3 times. Many believe the country is only in temporary political calm, which could be broken with the reported return of Trump to the political rally circuit in May. Biden finally gave his State of the Union address, where he also unveiled 10-year social infrastructure plan, which is expected to get many months of pushback from Congress. That's the $2 trillion infrastructure plan they are talking about. As Trump withdraws, date passes, Taliban warn they may take action against U.S. troops in Afghanistan. With former President Donald Trump's deadline for withdrawal from Afghanistan passed, the Taliban have warned that they may take action against U.S. forces before President Joe Biden's September 11 pullout date. Oh, this is a good one. China's new nuclear submarine missiles expand range in U.S., says U.S. analysis. This is the JL-3 ballistic missile, can deliver multiple warheads, including nuclear 10,000-kilometer Navy source says. Naval engineer Ma Weiming charged with improving the popularism of Chinese submarines. Well, here's the problem. There's something you guys don't have to worry about. You don't worry about it because it's made in China. So it probably will make it halfway or maybe not even take off. So you don't have to worry about it. I'm sick and tired of buying crap that's made overseas and it falls apart. Back in 1901, 1 out of 3 things on the planet was made in America. In the early turn of the 20th century, Everything, the typewriter, all this kind of stuff was all, not necessarily all invented in America, but it was all made in, majority of things in the world were made in America. And that's what they sold off the last 100 years to the great country of
China.
Oh, yeah. Let's move it on. Police protesters hurl rocks at each other in tense Colombia protest. Again, the reports coming out of Colombia are very scarce. I spoke to Julio there. He told me that right now he's in Bogota. They've been having protests of up to 5,000 to 10,000 people, and Medellin 2,000 to 3,000 people. The entire country is in a very uprise against these BS COVID lockdowns, and in Colombia they're not taking it anymore. So there it is. Police protesters hurl rocks at each other, intense Colombian protest, and public outrage, and it has a lot to do, obviously, I don't know if you guys know, but there's been a big tax reform in Colombia that's basically going to make the rich richer, and also they're pushing back against the cut in private sector support, and they're also it's mainly about the increasing taxes, but there's actually a lot of clashes that are happening right now in Colombia. Let's move on. French farmers block motorway to protest new agricultural policy. They're doing the same thing in India with this agricultural policy and all this stuff that's happening with basically privatizing and takeover, and it's more of an economic. It's a steal. It's a steal is what it is. Hundreds of tractors blocking traffic on a stretch of motorway leading to Strasbourg, and the European Parliament to denounce the new common agricultural policy, which will see European aid used for more agroecological purposes. So they want to get into the fake meat, like plantaroni. They want to start putting more money in there and not putting it into real like food to help us sustain. But plantaroni is the way of the future. Plantaroni. Don't you ever forget that. Soiling green is people. Plantaroni. So there it is right there. Let's just not try to get this flagged here, but there they are there. So there it is right there. People just rolling in with the tractors. People are getting sick and tired of this BS. Stop controlling people. People are like dogs. They hate being controlled. They hate being told what to do. They hate taking commands. As much as your dog is obedient, it doesn't like to be told what to do. Ooh, Biden administration picks Kamala Harris to head National Space Council. That's okay, finally. They get something right. They finally get something going good here. Because, I mean, like, she's lost in space. I think she's always lost in space. I think she's like 90% lost in space. Good. It's good. Finally, she's, finding her way. And we got, there's just so much going on all over the place, all over the world. Guys, I don't know where to start with this. Let's get some call-ins right now and finding what's going on. Engineered wood. What are they engineering? Well, they engineered a food shortage. Are they engineering an oxygen? Hey. They're engineering an oxygen shortage. You only need to breathe half the time so we could save the world. I shouldn't have not said that. I honestly shouldn't have not even said that, because that may become a thing. An oxygen shortage. So we got Rubik's XD in the house. We got non-coincidence synchronicities saying Mike is on fire tonight. Oh, don't you know it? Don't you know it?
Woo! You're talking about all men.
All right, guys, let's get some callers in. I really want to get Raven. The Raven Skype, let me just check here real quick. His Skype is turned off. I really want to get the Raven on tonight because he's witnessing what is going through Canada firsthand. And I seen it with my eyes through video distribution networks that we have on our phones showing me what is going through Canada. And there's lots of wood, lots of oil, lots of wood, and more wood. So I really want to talk about this. What are they engineering? So let's try and stay on topic. There is no shortage. Trainloads of lumber stacked as far as the eye can see, and we're talking about several miles of lumber. So this is what they found. This is one of these rural areas that they found with this. How much with several lumber companies. Yo, Ralphie, what's up, buddy?
I see you're doing call-ins, mate. It looks like I'm on every second show, which is terrible.
That's okay. We're talking about tonight. I want to stay on topic. I really want to talk about engineering shortage. And if you saw earlier in the show, the amount of wood and the amount of stuff that they're holding in reserves in secluded areas with only 3 or 4 major companies that control the lumber. What else could they be engineering?
Well, mate, this morning, I kid you not, and it's happened a few times in New Zealand, right? I've seen Chinese military just patrolling the streets.
You're so
just
lucky.
Just one at a time, but they're in full military gear with hacksacks, you know what I mean? But I noticed what their behavior was. They were looking at property. They were looking at like open home signs and stuff.
Okay, so you had Chinese military you've seen.
Yeah, a few times now. Like this is the 3rd time now. But I'm usually driving, so I couldn't really take a photo because it's sort of on the really busy road. Say hello to everyone there. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Got the dog in the background. Dog knows where it's at, eh? That too, but I wanted to send you a photo because I went to an art gallery this morning, right? It's really refreshing. A lot of artists are getting quite political. Have you seen those photos about the surveillance camera?
Yes.
Do you want to read what it says, though? I think it's quite relevant.
Give me a sec here. Hold on, give me a sec.
Just read the second photo. It's quite relevant.
Let me see if I could go back into my, yeah, there it is. I'm going to bring it up. I brought this up earlier. I looked at it earlier, and I said, this is a nice piece to add to the show, and we're going to add it right now. Okay, here it is. There's a surveillance camera there. Obviously, it isn't real.
It's an art gallery.
It is, yeah.
It's in an art gallery, yeah. But read it.
Okay, my artwork becomes a conduit between Te Marama, our present reality, and the spiritual realm of the Atua, says Henry.
That's Maori. It's
huh?
Maori, yeah. Those words you're reading are basically the translation of what you've just read. It's like the Maori version of the English word, so don't worry about it.
Okay, don't worry.
So carry on.
Says Hemi McGregor, in this work, present reality is foregrounded in the surveillance camera mounted on the Victorian wrought iron bracket, bringing assisted ready-mades of different eras together. McGregor allows us to observe shifting norms and to question the contemporary ubiquity of the surveillance technology. And at the time this work was made, the Search and Surveillance of Act 2012 had just been passed following the 2007 anti-terror. That anti-terror thing really swooped across the Commonwealth. Americans think there was just the Patriot Act was just being thrown together for Americans. No, a lot of countries lost a lot of freedoms then. Anti-terror police raids in Uriwara and Toho Island and the ethics of public surveillance and the state intervention continue to figure strongly in contemporary political discussion.
That's fine. That's a fascinating piece of artwork. It was really refreshing to see a lot of artists just being blatantly political in this art gallery we went to in Auckland. And but yeah, it just goes to a discussion as to what is now the norm. Like, let's talk about what is now the norm that wasn't, right? So surveillance cameras, that just wasn't a thing. Like, if you go to Auckland City in town, there's just surveillance cameras everywhere. It feels like an episode of Truman Show. And it just goes to say, so what's going to be normal now in 10 years' time, right? They're inserting these prefixes so that we gravitate for it being normal in 10 years, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, Jelly Bean. I want to thank Margie O for sending me 5 buckaroos. Thank you so much for super chatting me. So Ralphie, like, let's get. So what is the new norm? I mean, we went through bathroom wars. Remember the bathroom wars? We were fighting bathroom wars in 2015, 2016, 2017, right? Bathroom wars. Everything started when Trump took power. We had bathroom wars. Then we had the toilet wars in 2020. Toilet paper wars. There's all this ruffleness or I don't know, like pixie dust being sprinkled everywhere and making it like you are not normal. This is part of society. A majority of people fighting over toilet paper should have been thrown into insane asylums, if you ask me.
Well, a majority of people in New Zealand are playing it passive aggressive at the moment because there's not much you can do, right? But a lot of people are turning down what's being offered to them, put it that way. But I've realized this, right? You know, the 2-meter rule, how you have to social distance and things like that. I think it's to train the surveillance footage so that they can zoom in into people's faces better and things like that. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think that is a very good observation, my friend, because I was talking to a security expert who lives in Macau, and he actually speaks Portuguese, and he told me that basically that the distancing between people is for the learning processors that they have in the cameras now.
You've got it.
Yeah.
Yep, so. Absolutely. And I've got some insight in this because the new role that I'm temping for, I won't mention the company, but there's a lot of surveillance. There's a heavy surveillance element of it, and it just struck my brain. It just makes sense. Put 2 and 2 together, right? But anyways, I'll let you take some other calls. But that was the main points for today. Chinese military looking at property.
Can you get these guys on camera? It's not illegal.
I've tried, but the thing is, like, it happens like really early in the morning, like maybe 7 in the morning. But I'm usually driving at the time on a really heavy traffic. You know what I mean?
Chinese so military dressed up in military gear, looking at open houses. Full on.
Yeah, hat, top, bottom, everything with a rucksack. Looking at open home signs.
All right, we'll have you. Well, I want you on Commonwealth for Common People to bring that. We'll go in depth in that. I really want to continue that discussion, please.
Oh, I just want to ask: is anyone else seeing that though? That's what I want to know.
Okay, we'll ask people out there. Is anyone seeing Chinese military troops looking at open houses or in New Zealand area, in suburban areas, on side streets, just in full gear, military Chinese gear, and looking around at stuff?
Yeah. It's almost like they're taunting us, you know? It's like, most people are lazy.
Dude, if I go dressed, if I'm like this, wearing a cowboy hat and sunglasses, and no military, they'll probably put me in jail or something.
Well, no one's stopping them to ask them for the mask mandate.
Well, no mask mandate no, of course.
Hey, you don't have a mask. Here's the fine. Oh, you're in military gear and you look like a foreigner.
You're in foreign military in our country, looking at our open houses. God bless America.
Do you want a bus ticket?
It's almost like they want the American freedom in other countries, but they don't want to allow others in their country.
Not only that, Mike, my other observation, and I'm not being anti, foreigners here, but
I love China.
My other observation is they've bought out a lot of like the Kiwiana brands of the past. You know, that's all been bought out, like the ice cream trucks, the restaurants, the hotels. It's all foreign owned.
Ralphie, I need you to do something for me in the next couple of days. Find out who owns your health. Find out if your healthcare system is for sale, or find out who's buying it. Because I know somebody's buying. I spoke to somebody from I forgot the name in news. It's another major city, not Auckland, but another major city. Wellington.
I'm
sorry, Wellington. Wellington. He was telling me that he works in the health district, Northern Wellington, whatever region, whatever it's called, and he's telling me that apparently the healthcare system is being sold to China, or somebody's buying it.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. But hey, it's the real assets, right? I mean, property in New Zealand, it's in the last year increased 17%. 17.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, Mike, God bless, and also keep it cool. You know, I notice you've been a little bit more tense and stuff, but hopefully you've got a few hobbies and stuff. Driving that really nice car in between, you know, enjoying life
I am.
in between.
I took my son to work today. We spent the day. I took my son to work. We spent the day at work together, and I'm going to start taking him to work every Saturday.
I say that because it's really important, because a lot of people experience burnout when it comes to this. But you got to realize that we got to treat it like the Olympics. You know, pass the baton, and really treat it like the Olympics. You know, as a marathon in terms of resistance, right?
Okay, brother. God bless you. We'll see you soon.
God bless you. God bless you all back.
Thank you. That is Ralphie.co.New Zealand, our engineer, sound engineer here on the Mike in the Night Show, and he'll be rebroadcasting this on live radio. Don't forget to support his live radio, please. If you do not mind, support his live radio. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Engineering shortages everywhere. Engineering shortages all over America. And screwing up people's lives, one life at a time. We shouldn't need this much. Lumber should be dirt cheap. You know why? Because for every Canadian that is in Canada, there's 18 homes. There is 18 units of property for every one Canadian. But if one Canadian wants to buy 1 unit of property, guess what? Prepare millions of dollars for it. Woo! All right, let's get our...
The Mexican government...
I think Linny wanted to call in the show tonight. She says she wants to come on because she has something she needs to tell me. And let's talk to Linny.
I love China.
Hey, Alaska Prepper, ¿cómo estás, primo?
Holy cow.
Lynn, what's up, buddy?
1 second. Here, let's put this down for a second. Can you hear me?
I could hear you. I could see you, too.
Oh.
Yeah, you got your camera on there. Guys, we got Alaska Prepper there in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel if you can. Alaska Prepper, ¿cómo estás, mi hermano? Estoy muy bien, gracias a Dios. And, all right, so we got Linny Poo here, and she's got a message for us. Do you want people to see you, or you want to hide?
You decide. It's okay. I can just talk, or you decide.
We don't mind seeing you. There you go. This is Linny Poo, guys, making her first appearance here, like visual appearance on Mike in the Night. And she's been sending me a lot of stuff in the background, a lot of information. It's so much to wrap my head around. And so I put a chart up on the channel saying what variant are we in, because now they're saying there's a 5th variant. We're in a 3rd variant, but we're going into a 4th. There's a ball juice variant. There's an Africa, Brazil, Te amo Brazil Salta variant. I don't even know what's going on anymore. So can you fill in kind of where we're at with this?
Variants. What's better than one COVID crisis than just, keep adding the variants to the mix? Way more exciting. Isn't that called mutation? Remember when we all realized that that viruses mutate every year and a half, 2 years, but they call them variants now, so mix it up.
Interesting. So what happened to the flu? Where's the flu? I mean, is it gone?
No, the flu's here to stay. I heard someone had the flu the other day. Yeah, we heard that on the news.
Wait, they have the flu or they have COVID?
Oh, no, they had the flu. Yeah, flu made its little appearance there in our news broadcast. People were getting really suspicious, right? People are kind of catching on to that, but a lot of people aren't catching on. No, they really think that we don't have colds because we're wearing masks.
Interesting. Okay, so what's this thing happening in India? You sent me a chart, and the chart goes like this,
right?
and it goes to Mars and it comes back to the moon and back to Earth.
Yeah, I think that chart, right, goes to show that the cases are spiking now that we have vaccine rollout. Cases are spiking. And then a lot of people are dying of COVID after the vaccine too, after they're completely fully vaccinated.
So the vaccine, like even the health minister, the World Health Organization, all these people admitted that you'll still get it even if you get vaccinated. So why are we getting a blood vaccine for a lung infection?
Yeah, exactly. Why? That's a good question. Yeah, we're getting vaccines for colds. We're getting vaccines for, don't get me started on vaccines. Everyone knows what I think about those. It's always been a human experiment. They're all experimental. They're not really going to stop anyone from getting the COVID, as we've seen, because people are getting COVID when they're fully vaccinated. Plus, they're having heart conditions, dying of heart, inflammation, and blood clots is a big one. Cancer down the road, that's going to be a huge one. Autoimmune disease.
I spoke to a gentleman in Perth the other day, and he told me, in Perth, Australia, he told me that his son's cancer treatment has been delayed for 6 weeks, and and there's a chance that he might pass away now.
That's so sad.
It is.
Yeah, it's really sad. What we have the same where our hospitals are emptier than they've ever been, actually. You know how they say hospitals are so full? Really, they've never been this empty because of those other treatments that no one's in there for their other treatments. They're canceling lots of them. Yeah, it's sad when you need cancer help. Yeah. I'm just glad that right now, most people I know are healthy and not affected by that. But there's other people I know who are affected, and I just feel for them. I'm just fortunate that my loved ones are passed on right now. The older ones, I'm glad they got to go before we had to live through this.
I lost my dad a year before this kicked off. So,
yeah.
And I think he would have had a tough time going through this right now. I think he would have had a really, really tough time as sick as he was, right?
Well, exactly. And not being with your family, that's the most important part, is people being with each other. So I don't know what will happen. But all those vaccines, a lot of people are bragging that they have the vaccine.
Yeah, I could be sitting there on my computer at work, streaming, or not streaming, but flicking through porn. Somebody would come up to me, look at me looking at the porn and say, I got my vaccine today. It's like, I'm looking at porn, leave me alone. I'm being sarcastic, right? I could be setting fire to a building, for example. Somebody would tap me on the shoulder and say, sir, I got my vaccine today.
Yeah, I know. They're bragging to everyone, I got my vaccine. Woo, I did my part. And so, yeah, a lot of people are bragging that they put their hemorrhoid cream on now. They just want to tell us everything that's going on. Yeah, tell me all about it.
It's like you could be on a stage, let's say, having one of those discussions, like an assembly, talking about the nuclear conflict between this and this and that. Somebody will put their hand up and say, "Yes, can I help you, sir? Do you have something to add to the conversation? I just took my vaccine today." It's like,
yeah, and
nobody asked you.
A lot of people took their vaccine and don't feel so good. They're not really reporting it. I think there's like a 1% reporting rate. I'd like to see that everyone should, since they're in an experiment, because they're actually the test subjects, right? Because all 3 vaccines, so-called vaccines, are in experimental stage till like end of 2023. So they're the experiment. They should have every single person having to report their symptoms, because a lot of people have things like, say, a really bad headache, or they're lethargic. And like I know people personally who've been lethargic for weeks and saying, like, I wish I wouldn't take the vaccine. I just don't have energy anymore. Why aren't those reported? It's like everyone should be reporting every even if it seems small and insignificant, like it doesn't have to be the blood clot or the death one, even though those definitely should be reported. But the smaller ones, like headaches that are that bad, aren't good. And that lethargy sounds not good. Like they're kind of depressed after. That doesn't seem good. And tons of people I know are saying that. And it's funny because others I know, right, who had it were saying, you know what happened for the first time? Like they couldn't sleep, or they're having these episodes that have never happened to them before. And I'm like, did you ever think maybe it's from the vaccine? And they're like, yeah, don't go there. But I think a lot of people sometimes don't put it together if it's 2 weeks later, or if it's been going on for 2-3 weeks. They just kind of forget their old way of feeling. So I don't know, that doesn't seem right in the brain. Some people are having brain issues, like memory things. People I know already are talking about memory problems. It's weird.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I heard about headaches on the sides of the head. And I spoke to a brain surgeon from St. Michael's Hospital in Toronto, and the brain surgeon told me that actually the headaches on the side of the heads is forming blood clots.
Yeah,
and he's done many brain surgeries where he removed blood clots, or people that had what you call aneurysms or blood clots he's actually performed like several thousand of those procedures in his lifetime. And he's saying the headaches on the side of the head is the side effect is blood clotting in the brain.
Yeah, swelling of the brain. Yeah, just swelling in the brain. That's not good. That means it's getting in your brain. That's what that means. Like something's getting in there. The swelling, the thrombosis in the brain and in the heart tissue. Yeah.
All right. Let's shift our focus off to engineering. What are they engineering with? What are they? So we've had reports of just entire vacant, like empty fields full of lumber, wrapped, ready to ship, just acres and acres of lumber, ready wood, ready to build. Wow. Why are they hoarding lumber? Why are they engineering a lumber crisis?
To raise prices. Every time there's a shortage, it's supply and demand. So if there's not a lot of supply, then hey, the prices go up. So they engineer shortages, right? To just jack price. A lot of people are getting in on the bandwagon of prices going up. It might be true. Maybe there's some shortages somewhere of materials, but wow, everyone's cashing in and jacking their prices. Like, why is this so expensive now?
Yeah, well, they're again like that Costco article where they give you 15% less paper towel, and they're charging you the same, but you're getting 15% less paper towel. Shout out to Blunt News, thanks for the tip there. Blunt News, thanks for the tip there. So, shrinkflation. What do you think of shrinkflation, where you're just gonna get more air out of your chip bag?
Yeah, that's been going on, right? As well. I remember when chip bags, when I was a kid, they were full. We had nice big full chip bags. And I remember as a kid noticing even in the 70s, I would say, where all of a sudden we could tell chip bags were getting smaller. They do that, right? Mm-hmm. Increase their profits, I'm
going to ask everybody in the chat section, please, to behave. Everybody, that looks like there's like a civil war. Guys, when we argue in the comments, we're in civil war. Could we stop fighting against each other? We're all here for, we're here to talk each other through what we think is happening, or we're trying to paraphrase or symbolically tell you what is happening, if you could read between the lines here without getting us shut down.
Anything new. Nothing new under the sun is happening, actually, either. Nothing new. Yeah. Corrupt bankers, fake wars, pretend virus, emergencies where everyone should roll up their sleeve and get vaccinated. Elvis did it in the 50s. Remember Elvis, or was it the 60s?
Yes.
Those years he rolled up his sleeve with a big campaign and went on TV, and everyone loved Elvis. So let's be like Elvis and get our shots. And this is nothing new. We've been through this. During Woodstock, there was a pandemic. Remember? Woodstock was a big pandemic, and then they had to stop those vaccines because a lot of health concerns. So we'll see how long it takes for this one to be stopped because
Fizzle
of all
out.
the health
I see it
concerns. They don't
fizzling
have-
out. Fizzling out.
yeah.
I see it fizzling out.
Yes.
Like, I don't see it going away. They might bring it up once in a while, fizzle it out a bit more, bring it up once a month, fizzle it out, bring it up once every 6 months. But the one thing that's going to be going strong, 1,000 years after my death, would be Donald Trump. And they'll be blaming him for the next 1,000 years.
Yeah, and Biden will probably still be around too.
Well, Biden will be. They'll have statues of him. They'll erect a golden statue on Mars for him. They'll like the president that fell up a flight of stairs 3 times. He would be like the greatest thing to ever happen since sliced bread. It's like, again, it's digital book burning. Remember, I don't know if you remember, we did a show about digital book burning in 2017. We're talking about they have the power to digitally basically dictate or decide what is what. You go to Wikipedia, half the stuff on there doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't add up when you put the dates together, or you add it up, or you look at the graph, or you look at what's happening outside. It doesn't mesh. Digital book burning. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. That's just information control. Another method of information control. So that's in full swing. What people can know or trying to control our thoughts, right?
But what's the end game? Okay, they control us. They know what kind of underwear I wear. They know what kind of porn I watch, and they know everything about me. And they know what music I listen to. They know what I order, like fast food wise. Then what? Are they going to pay for it next? Well, what's the deal?
Well, it's not that. It's hacking into the part of your mind that makes those choices. Yeah. Like maybe you think you're making those choices, but is there other factors running in the background that made you want to eat what you ate or watch what you watch? You know, what factors? Yeah, like what's influencing you? So there's a lot that's actually influencing people that they may not realize.
So, Liddy, I want to touch base real quick on the protest that you guys had last week in Winnipeg.
Yep.
In the province of Manitoba, Canada. That's west of the province of Ontario, for people that are not too sure.
Yeah.
There was a protest. Okay, so we had a radio, like I was listening to talk radio locally, just kind of listening to what's going on. And they brought up that there was 80 to 100 people in a Winnipeg pro-Trump protest in Winnipeg with 90 people, and they dispersed pretty quickly. And then I look on Facebook and I see images of thousands of people in Winnipeg, and it's not a pro-Trump protest. Tell us what happened there.
Well, I didn't go to that one. I had to work. I just had to work. But I had a lot of friends who went, and I've gone to ones in the past. I would have loved to have gone to this. It was with Chris Sky.
Yes, Chris Sky was there.
Yeah. So, wow, all these people were there all of a sudden, which was great, because usually there might be 200. This is the first time there's been like 2,000 people. And it went late. I had a lot of people saying, oh, are you here? Are you at the protest? And it was late. So that's fun. That's empowering for people. And there was no police, unless they were undercover. But there were no police there. That's the second time in a row that there's no cops at all at the protest. But they used to be there in the early day to try to shut it down. And wow, it's crazy that why aren't they there now? I don't know, just letting us do our thing. Maybe they realize no one's doing anything wrong. We're just there protesting, empowering each other, meeting people. I've made great friends at those protests.
Yeah, you make connections, you network, you get to know people, you exchange numbers, you start coordinating, and that's how things start.
Yeah, and support each other. Then you're just with others of like minds. So when you're speaking or talking, you just all relate, and it's so peaceful. And then you kind of forget that there are people out there who are like they're just in another realm, another reality. I don't relate. So, and it's not so depressing, right? You don't have to think you're being surrounded by zombies. You realize, wow, there's good people. But it can be a little like that also sometimes I find myself like I'll think so many more people are in my line of thinking than are because I'm so surrounded by people like that of like-mindedness that I kind of forget that wow, I think we are outnumbered, but that's all right. I don't mind being outnumbered. We
Sean,
don't, it doesn't take the majority to
Sean
win.
Lingerman saying Montreal had a huge protest today. 1,000, thousands and thousands of people.
Nice.
So the Canada's up. But what about the ball juice variant? What's going to happen with the ball juice variant? Like, I mean, if all these people are intermeshing with each other, no one's wearing masks. You have it in Brussels. You have it in Berlin. You have it in Madrid. You're having it in Tokyo. You're having it in China. Well, I don't know if China. I don't know what's happening there because they don't tell us. But what's happening? What kind of variant are we going to get? Are we going to get a chameleon, ball juice, te amo Brazil salta type of variant?
Yep, the vegan one. They have one. They have a flavor for everybody. You know, ball juice. Some people like that type of variant. They'll be like, oh, you know what? Variants can't be that bad.
Yeah.
And then, it just depends. Whatever suits your fancy. Yeah, we got a variant for you.
All right. Anything? What do you want to add? Tell us what's on your mind. What else do you want to add? Something important? That's it.
To what's going on? Don't we know what's going on? Ay, ay, ay. There'll be a lot more of that. They're trying to shut us down, but wow. We're not listening that much anymore. Like, we're not supposed to be gathering. Everyone's gathering. We're shut down worse than before. You see people everywhere. No one really cares. Even outside, it's like blatant. We're not supposed to be gathering in each other's homes. Here's the thing. We can't have anyone over to our yard. You know, it's spring here now. So finally our weather warmed up, right? And when our weather warms up here, we're outside because we've been locked up cold for so long. So we're not allowed anyone in our yards, but you can go to a restaurant with up to 4 different family households. You could do that. You can go to a restaurant, be with 4 households, but you can't in your yard have your mother.
So health experts, right, who probably work part-time bagging groceries are telling, and mechanics who are also health experts, and barbers who are also considered health experts are telling people that you can't have your mother over in your yard. It's scary. It's scary. Yeah. Like, where do they find these pieces of trash?
Who, if you're going to keep listening to that, they're going to keep making it crazier and crazier, and people are going crazy. That's for sure. It's a battle for the mind.
It's a war on for our minds. Okay, really quick, I want to know what you think. I know you saw this and you commented. The reason I'm picking out videos that I know you commented on. So another video that you commented on was Bill C-10. What's going on with that? How do you feel about that, living in Canada, knowing that people in other parts of the world will never know what's going to happen in Canada again if they pass that Bill C-10? Guess what? Something could happen to us drastically here, but the media will spin it as a pro-Trump something, and the rest of the world will see it like that, but they'll never get the truth out of Canada because they're going to stop us, all these other media sources, or little guys like us from being able to talk.
Yeah, you're going to have to be a strong person on the inside. You're going to have to know who you are and know what's going on. And because that's what changes the world. There's no one here coming from no country to save us no how. The way you can make any change in this world is you and your choice. What choice are you going to make? What are you going to say today? What are you going to inject today? How are you going to live your day, right? Because our life goes on. Like, now that I get everything, I don't need to really catch up on the latest because I see what's going on, but I do need to live my life as best I can. So I think we'll just live our life the best each day. And the people, like police officers, are coming out too to come out against it. You know that there's a lawsuit, the police officers against the Ontario government, because they're saying you're making us do things that are against the Charter of Rights, and they took an oath to uphold the Charter of Rights. So we have rights to free speech. We're going to fight for those. They can come for us all they want, but that doesn't mean it's over. We're not going to give up this before we even start the fight. So yeah, it might seem, oh, look what's coming, but we are going to fight. And if it means more propaganda on the radio, so let them be. Just shut the
The
radio off.
problem is, Liddy Poo, they're not listening to those people. Nobody tunes into mainstream media. The only place you see mainstream media is at old folks' homes and at like local McDonald's that have a TV. The TVs are now being put all across local McDonald's, local Burger Kings, local fast food joints. When they reopen them to people to eat, they're going to have mainstream media news blasting on all. That's like a mandatory now. They're going to make that mandatory in Canada, that a lot of fast food places have televisions with the news on, looping all day long.
Yep, that's right. Making sure everyone has listening to that propaganda like they do in North Korea, just blasting propaganda all day long. Yeah, wake up and shut that off.
Yeah, and that's the problem. They're not making. It's very hard to shut it off because I go on my YouTube with my subscribers and I'm looking through my subscription list, and then I get local news show up in there. It's like, oh, I don't want to see this. So
It's ridiculous. What is going on? You're right. Like listening to that even for a minute, it's scary to me because I realize, wow, people keep listening to this. When is it gonna stop? So one choice at a time. I think it makes people think everyone's thinking that way because that's how humans tend to be, right? Humans tend to look around and say, what's everyone doing? Because that's how they want to know what they should do. It's like, is everyone doing this? Like public opinion. And that helps them form their opinion. That's just a natural, that's a natural thing you learn, marketing 101. People want to, what is everyone doing? That's what I want to do. So they paint it out to be that this is what everyone's doing. Everyone's fighting for a vaccine. Come get yours.
It's like the blind leading the blind.
Yep, that's right. And they want you to think that. But really, if you get away from it and come sort of underground and see what do people really think? Well, people are really actually gathering even though their governments are saying no. And they're all sitting around talking and saying, what a crock. And all the nurses are saying, we can't even talk about the truth. And so are doctors and lots of people are. So I think underground.
It's the same thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
Same thing with global warming. Any doctor that came or any like climatologist or anybody that came forward and said, look, the science isn't adding up. Florida will not be underwater in 2007. And then they get banned and then they get this. And then 2007 comes, Florida's not underwater. And that idiot, what's that asshole's name? Oh, Al Gore buys a mansion, right? A seaside mansion in Florida, right on the coast, right? Yeah.
Yeah, same kind of thing. They just keep feeding it and no one, people have to stop and think, didn't they say that 10 years ago and 10 years before that and 10 years? If we look at the patterns, we'll see nothing's changed. And that same thing goes with going to Mars. That's a joke. All the presidents, right, for, I don't know, 20, 30 years keep saying we're going to the moon and we're going to Mars, we're going to have people there. And people just say, wow, we're going to Mars. And then 10 years goes by and another president comes, says the same thing, but it never happens. That's not happening. They just say it. Just like the global warming and the floods coming. Although we are ruining the planet, it's not us, though. It's the big corps ruining the planet.
Yep.
And then they blame us. They're like, oh, you have been ruining. Look at people, how greedy you are. No, we're not. We never would have done that. They did that. And they wrecked it. They're trying to wreck it. So they're the ones who got to go. Big corps got to go. Bring back local.
They said they aren't shutting down the internet. Bill C-10 just means they control the internet. Exactly, but they control the internet, right? And we know that, but it means they are controlling. They're actually trying to block InfoWars from Alex Jones' website in Canada, that we can't even go onto Infowars.com.
Well, exactly. No, they're trying to block information. They want it to be only this is the information allowed. No second opinions. Whereas remember, it used to be, and this I remind people all the time, and there's close people, close friends, family members, wow, that are on two sides of the fence. So the nicest way to put it, because I'm not giving up family for anything, right? I'm not going to war with my own family. The nicest way to put it is there's lots of doctors who have second opinions on what's going on right now. Because some people say, don't say that COVID isn't real, right? Well, okay, it's real, but the way everything is being handled, there's second opinions from doctors and experts. And why are they being shut down? Why are they being censored? That's scary. That should make people shiver in their boots that we're not allowed another side. Whatever happened to there's this side, there's that side. I'll go to 2 doctors. I'll consult with doctors on what they both their opinions, and then I'll decide. I'll see what works for me, what sounds right for me, right? And then I'll choose. That used to be the good old way. If you were an intelligent person, that's how you would make your decisions. Now, there's only one way. If anyone tries to say any separate, it's bullying. It's schoolyard bullying. Yep, 101. I mean, and you know what happens with bullies. First of all, they're cowards. So it's like the devil. Resist and they flee. So resist the devil and he shall flee. Just resist all that. Don't worry. They're trying. Good luck. Good luck trying that. Definitely they're trying to guide our mind. And the more people who take that vaccine, they will find that they're gonna have less ability to think outside the box. I already see it happening. I already see their minds aren't working the same as they used to be. That's weird too to see that happen. It's true. There is going to be a zombie apocalypse. We're going to live to see that. Probably. I don't know what it will look like, but the World Health Organization is warning us, right? Or the CDC. Yeah, they're saying zombies are coming.
Those guys are still in existence?
Yeah, and their zombies are coming.
Oh. All right, Lindy. I'm going to let you go. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show and give us your feedback or what you feel or what you have on your mind. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to keep listening.
Thank you. God bless.
All right, God bless. Bye.
Bye. That is Linny there in the green room there, and coming on the show, giving us an update on what she thinks is going on. Oh, man, we want to get Mr. Lieberman on the show. Let's get him for a plug here, see what he's up to. It's been a while. I want to get to David over in Matthew on the show. He said he wanted to come on too. Yo, what's up, dog? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Are you plugged into Skype or are you plugged into YouTube? Oh, we can hear him. We cannot hear him, ladies and gentlemen. There he is right there. He's trying to find a way to make it work. He's trying to find a way to make it work.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you
You're
now.
talking about
Awesome. Sorry about that, guys.
all men.
All right, so we're trying to stay on topic as much as possible, but the control, the whole engineering of wood, why are they shorting wood? Why are they hiding it in places? Why are there only 4 or 5 companies distributing wood? Why isn't there several thousand? Why where's the middleman? Where's the little guy in this?
I think I'm not like 100% in the know on the topic, but I think the general idea is UN austerity measures. So even if we don't have enough food, even if we don't have enough food or lumber for ourselves, it'll still get shipped over to other countries, for the greater good, in the name of austerity, you know, local in the West, the local manufacturing or supply or production is going to get the short end of the stick in the name of more favorable countries, if you will. I think like China a long time ago was selected to be the next world police, the next superpower. I think it started even right after the Second World War, when the nationalists in China were basically forced to flee to Taiwan, because the Allies actually gave the Chinese communists, like Chairman Mao, the resources to combat the Chinese nationalists. So they were, Kissinger, basically since Kissinger, China is kind of being selected to be the next great superpower after United States. And that this is where you get the free trade, right? Free trade's not fair trade, especially when another country undercuts and devalues their currency and you can't compete with them. So this is why we have products that we make shipped to China. They assemble it and they, use the raw resources, ship it back, and it's still cheaper than if somebody made it here. That's due to free trade. It used to be tariffs. There used to be tariffs to protect the local industry and economy from unfair competition from the outside. So this is just the continuation and the end result of that, and I think it's going to get worse in that regard. So yeah, that's where I am on the lumber stuff. Did I answer?
Bill C-10.
Okay, yeah. So Bill C-10, like again, I'm not like super. I've looked a little bit into it, but I do hear that there's a bill being tabled. I don't think there's even a name for it yet, but there's a bill being tabled that's even worse than C-10, that nobody's talking about right now. So C-10 could potentially be a distraction. I mean, it's very important to deal with that, but they keep feeding us, they keep leading us on all these distractions. Like, okay, here's what you got to focus on now, and while we're focusing on one thing, they're already doing all this other stuff in the periphery, and it's not getting the attention, right? So they're distracting everybody with the COVIDs, and meanwhile, all this legislation and all this infrastructure and economies, even like we have a completely parallel economy of masks and plexiglass and sticker makers and all that stuff. Like that's not going away. You go to a restaurant and you see the plexiglass and the stickers and all that stuff there. That's not going away.
Let me ask you something. We got this whole thing happening with this massive. It's not a pandemic. It's a sickness. There's a pandemic is 21% death rate, so it's not a pandemic. So it's a sickness that's happening. So we got this whole distraction. Now my question to you, Sean, is what are they covering with this massive distraction? 24/7 media on COVID, 24/7 on variants, 24/7 on ball juice. What are they covering, Sean? What is the real deal that's happening? The right hand is doing this. Everyone sees COVID, but what's realistically, Sean? This is your opinion only. Tell me what your opinion is. What's the left hand doing?
Well, it's the technocratic control, the forming of a police state, and the psychological manipulation of the masses through fear, because fear is addictive, and fear disables the critical thinking part of your brain, right? You're constantly stuck in fight or flight, and we've been trained generation by generation to be more materialistic. We value things. There's not much of a spiritual aspect anymore, nor is there a traditional aspect that's bigger than you. So this started after the Second World War. I mean, they brainwashed a bunch of people in the Second World War to go and fight a war, and a bunch of European countries and basically the West. The West was fighting against itself, killing off the warrior class type people, the more traditionally mindset people. Because all this propaganda, like the slanty-eyed Japs, right? They're gonna come to your house and kill your children and do bad things to your women. So that evolved into something else, where you get the baby boomers. So now you got the baby boomers, and that's the start of the materialism. That's where the materialism began, and ever since we've been a very materialistic society, and I think that's particularly part of the issue, because after the baby boomers, there was never any handing down of cultural traditions. So when you think of like what's our culture in the West, what do you think of? Like, it's hard to come up with anything. I mean,
Right.
what cars, McDonald's, Walmart,
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. And
So
Costco's.
yeah, so like all these big corporations and which are, culture killers, and we were so good at being at acquiring these materialistic things. It's like there's this movie, Gran Torino, came out years and years
Mm-hmm.
ago with Clint Eastwood in it. And like at the beginning of the movie, he's like, it's a funeral of his wife, and he's pissed off because his grandson is wearing a jersey and his granddaughter's got a belly button ring with like a crop top or whatever you call those. And he's all like scoffing. It's like, well, what happened? My family, I'm so ashamed. But then, like it's all about his car. Like he's obsessed with his car, and so he's bashing the other generations for being so materialistic. And it's like, oh, my daughter only complimented my car because she can't wait for me to die, and my son wants my house, so they're gonna put me in a home. They just want my stuff. So, you'll notice that he's just obsessed with his stuff as his grandkids are, as his kids are. So he never built a relationship, and this is sort of of a reflection of the West. We haven't passed down a cultural unity or a in-group preference, and if you don't have those things, you're going to get mulled over. Now, we've also been taught to believe that truth comes from authority rather than authority coming from truth. And this is where you get the scientism aspect of things, right? The experts,
Mm-hmm.
because they're authorities, so that must be true. And that's not scientific at all. So, I mean, in the big scope of things, I believe who's doing all of this stuff. And I want to preface this by saying, like, it's not the people in these groups at the lower ranks, like they don't know any better. It's like the people at the bottom of a cult or the initiates of a cult. They don't know what's going on. It's like Scientology, right? You start at the bottom, and they feed you all this stuff, and at the top you realize it's some alien race that's like, corrupted the souls of people or whatever. So like, like some wacky stuff at the top there. But like these so basically the heads, the capstones of the pyramids of, say, like the Jesuits, I'll just say the J Mafia, and the Rosicrucians, the Freemasons, the people at the very top of these societies, if you will, are the ones carrying this out. So again, it's not the people within the ranks, like if you're at the bottom of Freemasonry, for example, or of the Freemasons, for example, you think that the G in the Freemasonry, they have the G in the square and compass, right? The G, they'd say, oh, it means God, right? But what that G really means is it means Gnosticism. And Gnosticism, I would define as that sacred knowledge in which is necessary for your salvation. So this is what these mystery cults believe. They believe that that the new man is the only man that can continue. So if you watch a Space Odyssey 2001, there's a lot of esoteric references in that, such as their great work. So the great work is the obelisk at the beginning of the movie. You see
Right.
the
The obelisk.
obelisk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sort of like it's like Adam and Eve. It's the same idea, right? The Garden of Eden. And as soon as you touch that tree of knowledge, i.e., the obelisk, you're corrupted by that intelligence. In this case, artificial intelligence. So, after they've touched it, they have a feud over the watering hole with another tribe that hasn't touched the stone, that hasn't been corrupted by this knowledge, and then that's the first death amongst each other. And so basically, that movie is about the new man being the only type of person to continue. So I think what they're going to do is a lot of people are going to probably be wiped out, and those that those that are able to make it through, they're the new man, the genetically modified man, and I think they'll be slaves basically. You already kind of see all this happening, but yeah, I'm not super prepared, but I hope that makes sense to people. But the whole concept of communism or technocracy, all this stuff is derived from the mystery religions. It's not a new idea at all, and it's about controlling the mind. Something that you know, ever since the Pharisees, the oligarchs have had great difficulty achieving. So there's been different techniques of slavery throughout the ages. I mean, if you think you're free right now, well, you're not free.
Hmm.
Taxation and you know, just because they give you a little bit of money, you know, and a little bit of more free range, you know, your pen is larger than it was in the past, doesn't mean you're free. It's just more effective, right? If you pay your slaves and they have if and your slaves have to, you know, figure out their own shelter, their own food, and provide for themselves, it's much more cost effective. Your slave won't resent you, and do the minimal amount of work necessary to get by,
Hmm.
you know, without being lashed. So there's two reasons that slavery was abolished. It wasn't out of the kindness of, you know, the British Empire's hearts or, you know, other societies, you know, beneficence. It was out of the fact that it was more profitable, and it was difficult to collateralize slaves anyway. So, you know, if you're a slave owner and you owed a debt to the bankers, you know, you could just say, "Oh, my slave ran away." Right now, that problem solved with IoT, Internet of Things,
Yep.
5G. So now, basically, they have the means to create a form of technocratic slavery, communism, whatever you want to call it. I would say that technocracy is more of a advanced form of communism. It's like 2.0. You know, a lot of people think that China's communist country. It hasn't been for a while. It's more like a technocratic society, or more like a fascist society. And we've lived under fascism for a while too, as it is. It's just they've shown their cards now, right? It's come out now. Or we've always had owners, but now it's more evident even to your average person that something's going on. You know, ever since they had a crowned corporation. What's a crown corporation, right? That's that's a form of fascism because you have the government and you have a company, a corporation.
Right.
So, you know, like the corporations basically run the governments. The governments are just kind of a tool, and they're even kind of in the way, like the technocrats would like to do without government and just bypass it
The
entirely.
governments are more figureheads now.
Yeah, they're just puppets, and they're, you know, I've said this before, but they're meant to for you to throw tomatoes at and blame, when really they're not the root of the problem.
No.
So the people really in charge, you know, the bankers and such, you know, they've had this plan for a long time. If you go back to Cecil Rhodes, you know, if you want a reading list or you want to learn a bit more about this kind of stuff, how it came to be, there's Carl Quigley, there's Cecil Rhodes, even Aldous Huxley or George Orwell. Like, people don't realize that Huxley and Orwell were both part of the scientific elite. You know, they didn't predict all this stuff so much as they were told that it would happen. Same with H.G. Wells. H.G. Wells predicted the Second World War because he was told that there'd be a Second World War, not because he's some clairvoyant person. So, and this dates back to the Darwins as well. The Darwins are really big on eugenics, and there was a big eugenics movement in the 50s.
Hmm.
And they've always done this, you know, Victor acts. I don't want to say the word because
Hmm.
the AI. But they've always pulled this crap with like polio, for example. They renamed polio. In the 1950s, there was like a epidemic. I think it was like 1952 to
Late
54.
51, I think. It was late 51. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just they came out with the vaccine and they simply renamed polio. I think they renamed it like paralytic poliomyelitis. You
Okay.
know, so, you know, and then hey, look, polio's gone, right? Because, you know, they just reclassified it, and they've done this for a very long time. And yeah, this is nothing new, unfortunately. So I hope
Take
I'm
a
not
breath.
going over. Yeah, I hope I'm not going all over the place.
It's
on
okay.
you
It's okay.
guys
We
here.
got you on. We got you on. You've been on. You've been on for about almost 20 minutes now. We got you on. We let you unload a little bit here. Uh, yeah. There's just so much happening geopolitically right now. It's so hard to put your finger on the pulse on anything right now because they're pushing you on every whether like I think what people are going to have to start worrying about is the price of food going up. I think that's one thing that people need to start worrying is how they're going to get their food because it looks like we're going to enter food wars. We're already entering early stages of water wars with privatization of water and basically pulling illegal moves behind doors. Then we're going to start to see more and more. I wouldn't surprise me if they start doing more rationing or holding back on certain products like the lumber industry is going right now. We're finding acres of ready to go 2x4s sitting there just to mark the price up, just to have the price skyrocket, right? To play the supply and demand game.
If you're looking for lumber, maybe consider finding a Mennonite with a lumber mill. You'll get your lumber a lot cheaper that way.
A lot cheaper.
So there's
I'm
an
gonna see
idea
if I
for
could
you.
get Supreme Cannon on because he works at a mill. He owns a mill.
Yeah. I mean, and it's hard work. I used to do carpentry, and I remember when I was going to school, uh, they had the shingle chutes. So I took a tour of the lumber mill or the sawmill, and about an average of 6 fingers a day or 6 fingers a year would roll down the chute. So it's not. My hat's off to those people. That's all I can say. So.
Wow. All right. Any final words?
Yeah, just maintain your
Sanity?
soul. Yeah, your sanity, your soul. Try to find joy, because what is life without joy?
Great.
And yeah, I mean, we're all gonna have to make choices. Like we feel like we don't have choices because there's not a win. Like there's not a all catch all win. Like we're gonna have to make sacrifices that we're not used to making. And sometimes you make a choice, there's going to be consequences. If you don't take the vax, there's going to be consequences, and it's not going to be great. If you do take it, I think there's going to be worse consequences, especially with the potential of shedding, which Pfizer documented in their own
Yes, they did.
research.
I think it's on page 46 of
Yeah.
their
Yeah, and you notice that the people are like goldfish. You notice that people are like, or the experts are like, oh, stay inside, stay safe, blah blah blah, right? That's better for you. Now they're saying, oh, you got to go outside because it doesn't spread as much outside, so you should go outside. But you can't do anything leisure. You can't do any leisure activities, So that this is part of the brainwashing, right? It's like a cult initiation well, it's like torture. It's
Right.
torture, right? To break you down, to give you a little bit of indulgence once in a while, to make you think that things are going to go back to normal. I mean, the problem, I think a lot of people, they want to believe so bad that if they do what the government says, things will go back to normal. Well, the truth is they won't. They'll get worse. If you want things to go back to normal, people gotta call this out. And if enough people call this out, the government has no choice but in order to retain their illusion of power, they're going to have to say, well, we meant to roll this back anyway, because it's, it's gone. COVID's fine. It's like it's endemic, right? Let's all accept it. But it's scary because some people they really, this brings meaning to their life because they didn't have a fulfilling life before this. They didn't have any meaning. And all this getting to be an authoritative, controlling person that make sure you wear the mask above your nose. They really get off on this stuff. So watch out for those people. If
I
they're
love
in your
mask on the
neighborhood.
nose. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Yeah. So yeah. I'll leave it at that. It's good to
We'll get
catch
you
up
on
with you
again. Don't
guys.
worry. We'll get you on again. It's
Yeah.
good to see you and messaging me there on Skype. Are you still doing your show?
I'd ask. We're doing like audio on Telegram, and we do have our channel. I don't know
Send
if
me a
Blunt's
link on
around.
Skype. I'll plug it.
Yeah, is Blunt around? Maybe
Just send it to me on Skype, and I'll plug it in the next couple of minutes here. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Good to talk to you. Take care, guys.
God bless you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Guys, that is Senior Sean there reporting from us and giving his insight on what is going on. So he's got Blunt News. Blunt News is another guest that comes on the show from time to time. Right now, I actually want to send a special thank you. So let me do a quick channel plug. I'm going to do a channel plug of other channels that are in the chat room. So I'm going to plug a few channels here, guys. Let's plug a few channels here real quick tonight on Mike in the Night. People of the Night. So who are we finding tonight in the chat room? Well, do I have that one up? Hold on. Let me see if I have that just really quick. Okay, I got that one up. All right, guys, here we go. Who is in the chat room tonight? Well, we got some other YouTube celebrities here tonight. We got King Cash YouTube. Really good videos he puts out. Really, really good guy. I really like his attitude on things. I'm going to give you a link to his channel. Please go over there and subscribe. We'll get him on the channel whenever he wants to come on. Also, we got Alaska Prepper in the comments, too. Alaska Prepper was in the comments earlier today. Made an appearance in the comments. Alaska Prepper, I'll give you the link to his channel. Get everybody on there. Okay, and we got the Fringe Files in the comment section right now, too. So there it is right there. Fringe Files, don't forget to subscribe. I'll give you the link in the chat there. Don't forget, Fringe Files in the house tonight in the comment section tonight on Mike in the Night. Oh, yeah. People of the Night. It is Mike in the Night. I want to thank everybody. Let's get our next call. Everybody in the comments is saying, Mike, get the Raven on. Mike, get the Raven on. Saul to Paul is saying, I just subbed him. Good. Sub him right now. Sub them all. All right. Okay, let's get, I need to get. Okay, let's see if we can get the Raven on. I got a lot of people asking. So I think Lenny Poo told me to call. To call him. Let's see if his, if he goes full kook. Let's see if the Raven picks up the telephone, my friends. French Files got a strike? French? Are you at your computer? I'll give you a call real quick here. Raven's not picking up. I think Sean. There it is. Let me open this real quick. View in Telegram. Let me go. I don't have Telegram, so I'm going to give you a link to a Blunt News feed here that was just sent to me. There is a Discord for Blunt News. Go to that link and it should take you to where you're going. Let me get where's Fringe? I have her saved as scratch the latest link. Okay, so it's not the latest link. Okay, let me go back here. It's under my favorites, but where? Oh. Maybe her Skype doesn't match. Well, John Harris wants to add me on Skype, so we just added him. Maybe a new caller tonight? Are we going to get a new fresh caller? I say, you know what? Let me see who I got here. Hitting Stacks we haven't had on in a while, too. Hope he's doing okay. I hope he's doing all right. So we got a lot of celebrities in the chat tonight. There it is. Fringe Files. Let's see if she's at her computer now. I think she says medical misinformation. Let's see if she picks up the telefono. I think it's connecting. Oh, Fringe is offline. It's not online. Okay. All right. I just wanted to give her a call to see what she's up to because she cannot post anything for a week. Like, all right. He's telling me just the feed. Okay. Telegram. All right, I'm going to leave you this link, guys. Here we go. All right, let's call Matthew down in Australia real quick. We can't get a hold of the Raven. Let's just see what he's got going on down there. He wants to come on the show because he has something he wants to share with us. Here he is here. Let's give him a call down in Victoria. They might go back down in lockdowns again in Australia because the ball juice variant's hitting there too. So it's kind of important to know what the heck is going on.
Mikey.
Yo,
hey.
What's up, dog? It's so good to have you on. Let me put you on full screen here. Welcome to Mike in the Night. People of the night, welcome Matthew from Victoria, Australia. It's very sunny there. How are you?
Been a while since I've been on, actually. 6 months?
So tell us, what's I heard there's another lockdown coming there, or they're thinking of it.
I'm not surprised if there will be because all the stuff I see coming, they need a lockdown to sort of increase the fear again, get everyone ready for the vaccine.
Interesting. Have you taken the vaccine?
No, they've put it on hold because the mainstream says there's blood clots and some issues. So it's really interesting that they've put that on the news.
I know. I was shocked when they actually talked about them. Like, what? So
yeah.
Okay. Tell us what is going on in you guys were in the most horrendous lockdown I've ever heard of. And you know what? In Victoria, they had drones flying around. Nobody could leave their homes. You had to get permission to leave your house to see your family. Remember all that BS?
Yeah, pretty much. But
now,
some of the videos on Canada, you got the shops that you're not allowed to buy the clothes and that in the shops there.
Everything's closed. Well, I didn't close my shop, but I'm saying a lot of shops are closed. A lot of businesses, I think 71 or 77,000 businesses in the province of Ontario shut down because of this. Yeah. Permanently.
But it's just funny how you got the big supermarkets with sections of it closed off. No clothes are allowed to be bought or kitchen utensils or anything like that.
Yeah, they close off specific sections. Are they still doing that in Australia?
No, we're pretty much back to normal, but I've seen someone post that scenario thing, that the Rockefeller playbook. They were saying that they need people to get back to normal so then they can come in with a new set of fear in a way. And then I'd say from the vaccines that have already been put out, probably start making up stories about that without saying it was from the vaccines. But, we got the new variants and all the bull stuff,
They keep making this crap up as they go along.
Yeah. But it has to be all planned out. They know exactly what they're doing.
Layla in the comments from Egypt is saying damage control, hard to hide the obvious.
Yeah. See, what I think they're doing in the meantime, because Australia being part of the Commonwealth, they're very law specific and they like to go back to the regulations. So I'm wondering if they're waiting for America to announce exactly what side effects they get from all these vaccines so they can change labels and put on all the potential side effects you get. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's what's happening in the meantime.
So everything's back to normal supposedly right now in Victoria, in Melbourne. Are you still? I was going to ask you earlier. Are people still mass exodusing the city of Victoria? Like, guys, people watching in the United States of America, the city of Melbourne or Victoria would be like California. Then there's a mass exodus of people leaving Victoria right now. Is that still happening?
Potentially. I don't really get people mentioning that stuff lately.
Okay,
But
because
I
there
can
was a
imagine
huge
it.
mass exodus about 6 months ago. It was horrendous.
Yeah, people moving out into the countryside and then up different states just to get away from it. And now there's housing booms in areas that were low-level areas, and people just bidding wars, everything.
Mm-hmm. And what do you reckon is gonna? I mean, do you think things may stay normal going forward, and this might fizzle out? Hopefully.
As in what, people moving out?
No, people as in the friggin' country coming back to normal. Period, and just let people live their lives. Are they forcing COVID passports there?
There's rumors of the passports, but there's nothing being really said on the mainstream.
Really? Because on the mainstream media, it's passport this, passport there, passaporte please.
Yeah, Sky News have mentioned it because I don't really watch any news on the TV. I'm guessing they must be saying some stuff, but I'm not really watching it to find out anyway.
Cordray in the comments is saying, I believe that since since COVID is now patent, the regular flu has been discontinued, and every year there will now be the CO-19, CO-20, CO-21, CO-22 jab.
Yeah, they announced, what is it, the booster shot every year?
Oh, the booster! Oh my God! So I guess we could scratch going to Carnival in Brazil off the list, eh? I would have loved to have to take my kids down to Carnival in Brazil, or maybe take them to some like religious festivals in Portugal. Just really, just I was so I don't know, Matt. I'm just this whole not being able to spread our wings and get out and about. This geopolitical BS is just killing me. It's killing a lot of people. And how are you keeping your sanity there in Victoria?
Well, I just moved, so I've been here 5-6 months now, and got my whole apartment to myself. Really
good.
Yeah, good. You can see everything.
Oh wow, that's That's your picture there. That the red box is your picture of your profile, right?
Yeah, that's my simulator.
Right there, I see it right there. That's your profile picture right there. Yeah, nice.
But home style gallery going on here. Finally did all my artwork up.
Good.
I got heaps of different topics I could cover.
All right, tell us. Fire it off.
Someone posted a video I come across on TikTok. It's actually been a really good app to be informed, because everything else is getting so censored. Right. And then I jumped on TikTok again. People are posting so much stuff that I'm very surprised it hasn't been shut down.
I think because it's controlled by the communist Chinese. I think they're allowing it to create havoc or create divide.
Yeah, but lots of people are revealing stuff that shouldn't be revealed. Now, there's one guy who posted a video about somewhere in America, body bags, like for the dead people, are being stockpiled in warehouses.
Wow.
And this dude, he got up on his scissor lift and he's taking the video around, and could see massive pallets of just boxes of these things ready to go out.
Body bags.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess they're going to put a body bag in a body bag in a body bag in a body bag.
Yeah. I think you might remember I sent a video about casket liners.
I saw that, yes.
Where is it? Near South Carolina there somewhere.
Tens of thousands of casket liners.
Yeah, that's it. I think that could be what they put these body bags and that in later on.
Interesting. Interesting. But that, I think that was set up in case things got out of hand, or if there's some sort of some mishap or a misunderstanding, so to say.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, give us our
Yeah.
next headline. Next headline.
Also, people in the States have been reporting that there's been fake snow coming out of the sky.
Fake snow?
Yeah. Now, because of the chemtrails, they reckon, one guy reckoned it was because they mix mercury and aluminium together,
Mm-hmm.
and it creates like a fluffy, snow-looking stuff.
Yeah, actually seen that firsthand golfing a few years back in 2015, 2016. I was golfing with some friends, and there was a plane, and it was dropping. You could see it. It was I don't know, maybe 10, 11,000 feet up. And you could see this huge, you could see it drop out like Niagara Falls. Like it was like falling like this. And it fell on us. It hit the trees. You could hear it. When it hits the trees, you could hear it on the golf course. And I'm like, man, I hope I just didn't get like covered in some God knows what, you know?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be surprised if it's mercury.
Oh, don't tell me that, man. But this was years ago, so I'm still alive. Next.
All right, so you watch Ice Age Farmer?
No. Ice Age Farmer, sometimes, yes.
He was talking about, is it Croatia and France? They got the fishing boats and that won't be allowed to use their nets unless it's got like government issued blockchain.
Yes, they're doing this because the Chinese are actually enforcing this because the Chinese want the fish. Apparently, like the Chinese will never enforce anything to stop or abrupt any of their economic movements when it comes to fishing. Whether they break all the laws if they have to, and all the other governments need to abide by them. And this is something that's been going on. And again, a lot of money gets into a lot of places real quick. And you get someone in Parliament saying, well, we need government-issued nets. What for?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's just funny how China's got all this money to pump into different countries.
Mhm.
It's almost like, because above the central banks, they got the World Bank and whatever else it is above that. It's almost like they agreed to go along with what the agenda is, and then they get compensated for that. And then what's the point of holding that money? Why not just go up and buy other countries?
Buy them out. Buy out the infrastructure. Buy out the radio companies. Buy out buy out their oil. Buy out their mines. Buy out everything. Hey, you don't buy them. You don't buy from the manufacturers. You buy them at the source. You buy them right out.
Yep, true.
You're talking about all men.
All right. One last headline, and we'll let you go.
All right. One last thing. I've started investing in IVF shares.
Okay.
So if anyone can get a hold of IVF shares in wherever they're at,
IVF.
whatever they come, because all these problems that people are going to have with fertility in the next year or so.
Infertility.
Forward.
Okay, yes. Okay, so you're looking way beyond the scope. Okay, tell us.
Because if people are unable to conceive kids, or even just discover that they're infertile after all these vaccines,
Right.
then you're going to start panicking. Oh, how can we have kids? And just start looking at it like that. And if there's money to be made, may as well do it, because they're not going to allow you any job entitlements.
The ticker is IVF.
So in Australia, it's Monash IVF.
Okay, IVF.
That's the one just up here in
Okay,
Melbourne.
I'll dig it up. I'll find it. IVF. I get the Anthony. Send me. Anthony's in the chat. It's IVF. It's a fertile company. Send me the link to the ticker if you find it. It's supposedly based out of Australia. So, or they always say it's based out of somewhere. It's never there. Or you look at the website and it goes nowhere. Or you call the phone number listed to call an executive or somebody there. The phone number goes to some underwear production factory somewhere in Shenzhen. You know what I'm saying? So Anyways.
So look for companies on the stock exchanges, really.
Okay, I'll look that up. That's a really good lead, Matthew. Really good lead. I appreciate that. And keep sending me the stuff on Instagram, by the way.
Yeah, sure. No worries.
All right, mate. God bless you. Take care, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me on.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
That is Matthew out in Victoria, Australia, giving us the update. Victoria, Australia went through a massive lockdown that appeared in. They're trying to get. Okay, let's get Fringe Files on, and then we're going to try and get the Raven on. If he's around, or if he's around, I'm not sure. Yo, Fringe.
Hey.
Okay, guys, we got Fringe Files on to give us an update on just get her points of view of what she thinks is going on. Thanks for coming on in such short notice. All right, give us an update. What's going on? What's happened in the last week and a half?
Well, I got a strike, and it's my second one, so the channel's like on its last leg. I've been here before with 2 strikes. It's just always scary because they can go in. I'm always worried that YouTube will go and hit content from, like a year ago, because they can just do that. So, I mean, and I guess a lot of us that do YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, this is what you're dealing with. You can't say anything. And Mike, I'm pretty sure I know the company that hit me, because I didn't even talk about the vaccine that much that night. I was actually talking about a company called BuyChip, and kind of reading over some of their stuff, and the whole show was about this company basically. And I was calling them out. It was like the title of the video was "Get Tracked and Traced with BuyChip," and they've deleted their tweets now because they tweeted me, and the way that the sentence started out was, "It does not much of an IQ," and they told me that I needed to enlighten myself. So I'm assuming that they hit the channel, and it was weird because they were tweeting me. Like on Twitter, they were getting in touch with me, and then they followed me after I had called them out for, if you're going to question somebody's IQ, at least put a proper sentence together. Just going to throw that out there.
Fringe, you just reminded me of something. I'm going to actually put my lawyers or my law team's information in my description for people that want to like I don't accept contacts. I accept contacts from people like you yourself, other people on the channel, people that want to discuss and stuff. If somebody has a problem with anything I'm saying, it's called forming an opinion. And I've learned that very well living in the city I live in right now, how forming an opinion works. And I'm going to leave my actual information. I totally forgot about that. I was going to do it. My lawyer said, yeah, put my information with my thing and my box and everything and where I'm at for people to contact them directly via mail, not to contact me, because I've been getting a lot of threats from the looks like it's the Chinese Communist Party. I've been kind of, with this whole money laundering fiasco. It's like you break the law, you screw people's lives up, you get caught, but it's my fault that you got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically. So, I mean, and it's the worst that I said, or that they didn't like, is probably the fact that you could be tracked and traced. But this is the same exact company, Mike, that RFID'd the workers in Wisconsin. Y'all remember a couple years back when they put the chips in them so they could track and trace? Yeah, so they could track and trace the workers and make sure that they're doing things on basically a timely manner. We've heard Amazon might want to do this in the future. And whenever I decided to go and enlighten myself here, if you type in what is the purpose of the RFID chips into Google, one of the first thing that comes up is talking about how animals and even human beings can be identified, located, and tracked using radio frequency signals. And we're doing that with prisoners and the prisoner population. Some of them aren't necessarily getting implanted, but they do wear bracelets. And this is to keep up with, where they're at during their day. So it's just getting outrageous to this point. And it's not just about the vaccine anymore. That's the messed up. Like, okay, I get it. Y'all guys want to sweep as much of that as you can under the rug, but anything? I mean, Mike, it's like every time I get on now on this channel, there's a strike. There's a warning for this. There's something for that. And it's another 2 weeks that you can't go on and do anything. So anybody out there, if, if you want to do YouTube, that's cool. But I even see smaller and smaller channels. They keep getting hit. Like, guys, I would suggest going and checking out D Live and some of these other platforms that are out there.
BitTubers, BitTubers.
Yeah.
And I think Donald Trump's making a platform. I'm going to start transferring. I have 4,300 videos. That's my problem. And
Are you up on Library?
No,
LBRY?
somebody's been
/
taking my
Odyssey?
material and actually putting it on Library for me. Someone's just doing it randomly.
Oh, okay.
They've been doing
should get on
episodes of
there.
Mike in the Night going back from 2016.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's that. But yeah, I'm this information age that we're in is it's nice, you know, to kind of be able to have the simplicity. We gotten lazy, but the problem is that we're too dependent on this, and I'm thinking, and I've been feeling some sort of EMP or some sort of disruption in the electrical grid. And I've been feeling this for a while now. It's just a gut feeling, you know, that you have. And usually those gut feelings usually lead to, you know, a lot of the great police detectives that ever existed, they went on their gut feeling and solved some of the biggest crime from gut feelings, right? I'm just feeling this. Are you feeling this too, or am I just severely...
You're not crazy for thinking this, because if we were at the brink, how do you continue to have control, right? Take away the things that people absolutely need. Turning off the electricity or the internet. You see how people get when their Wi-Fi is down for 30 minutes, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the end of the world because my Wi-Fi is off for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the end of the world, though. Think about if they went on that for 3 days. How much control could your government have over you then? And I've actually been told, I mean, I'm not going to say the highest ranked up people in the military, but pretty high up there. If there was ever a moment in the U.S. where they thought that they were losing control, they will flip the switch, because that will gain control back immediately, and we won't be able to communicate with one another. You can't band together unless you already have a predetermined plan on where everybody's going to meet up at. If something like that happened, you're not going to be able to communicate or get together and do anything about it. So, and this works both ways. This is for self-destruction, or if another country wanted to do something to us. The U.S. would definitely EMP itself before it ever let any other country do it, just to be there first.
Right. Now, let me ask you, how does continuity of government continue if there's no way of the government to reach us?
Good question. I have a good feeling that they'll just let us battle it out. Population will decrease dramatically. You know, all of us useless eaters, right? That's what they like to call us. We'll be gone while they get to be safe in their bunkers. And does anybody here actually watch Adapt 2030? He had a great video the other day that actually really made me think, because, you know, we've got this, the container shortage for the shipping containers. And it's all of a sudden, there's thousands and thousands of shipping containers that just are gone. Where they didn't just disappear. We didn't just recycle them. There's not that many
those
people
things
using them
are
for tiny homes.
But those containers are barcoded, tracked. They have tracking mechanisms on them.
So where did they go? They're not at the bottom of the ocean. That's BS. I wonder if somebody else, elite families, governments, whatever it might be, yeah, they're stocked up today, but are they getting even more stocked up for something else that's going to come? Because the moment that anything funky goes on here, I mean, guys, the first sign that we would see, unless they just have it set up to be automated to make things look normal, your billionaires are going to disappear. They're not going to be tweeting. You're not going to see any interviews. I mean, more and more important people, you're not going to be seeing them. And that's whenever you should wonder, okay, what's going on here? Do they know something that I don't know? It's not happening yet, but I don't think we'll see them.
What secret committee you're part of, or super committees you've been elected to or appointed to, usually the people in different positions know what's happening. There are people out there that really know what's happening, and they can connect the dots very simply, and they're laughing at us. They're like, we're in one of those mazes, like they put rats in, where the rat runs around the maze. We're all in this maze, and they're looking up at us, chewing on a granola bar and laughing at us. It's, oh, he's talking about this again. Oh, look, it looks like she's going to dump him. Ha, what a bunch of, you know what I'm saying? And it's, wow.
That's right. But that's exactly right. They look at life as a game, right? And we're the players to that game. That's what's sad is even original thought now. And Mike, I have to think about this with myself sometimes, even the ideas that I have to wonder, is that even really my idea? Or does someone else gain something? Someone with power, do they gain something by me having this thought?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I think all of us should think that way. Even if we're trying to find truth, there's going to be lies and going down that journey, right? Like you're going to hit some speed bumps and you just can't ever put yourself 100% into anything. Like stay like water, right? I think there's some kind of
Stay
saying to
fluid.
that. Stay fluid, like be able to just create and form your own opinions when you can. Like when you see something weird going on with the movement that you're going with, and I'll probably trigger some people here, but like the whole Q thing, that's got to be the greatest psyop I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually playing out in my lifetime. It's not just one that I'm able to go back and read about in some CIA documents. It's happening now. And I bet whenever I'm 50 years old, they'll release all the info on it. No, I'll be in my grave or something wishing that I could read it. But that's got to be the greatest thing that we've ever seen. And what's scary about that, Mike, is they're now using truth propaganda. We have got to be more careful than ever because before it was a little bit easier to sort through this stuff. But now it's become extremely intelligent. And you've got a bunch of people that I would say were truly aware of what was going on that fell into that cycle. And then you had people that never had a clue, but because they like Trump and heard about this thing on some website, they funneled into it. And you've got all these people that think that they're woke now. I don't know. You're getting bits and pieces of truth, but you're also being steered in a direction for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but somebody's going to gain something out of that in the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that I didn't offend anybody here, but let's be honest. When you've got 50, 60, 70-year-old people telling me about some super secret thing called Q that they saw on their Facebook, that I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
No, that's why I think we brought up Q twice on this channel. It was from a guest.
I'm sorry.
Not you. No. I think we never. There's nothing to talk. There's no. Yeah, I never bring in. My followers know I never bring it up. I don't even. Yeah. So my excuse is, why don't you talk about Q, Mike? Well, I can't read, so leave me alone. I make up an excuse like I can't read. Leave me alone, man. But okay. So, my dream, like I've since I was a child, I've been longing for an American takeover here in Canada because, I've been so disappointed with our governments here in Canada. Like just so, we're headed towards tyranny. They got Bill C. I don't know if you know about Bill C-10, but they want to shut us down. Anybody broadcasting in Canada needs a broadcasting license.
My partner was just telling me about that, and that includes YouTube. And Mike, this is so crazy. Think about what this is going to take if they do this to you guys, which it'll come for us next. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, like
everything.
all of it.
Everything.
What do you mean I need a license for this? Why do I need some sort of permit?
We have to get a broadcasting license from the.
Money.
We needed a broadcasting license. I think it's from the BBC or something like. No, that's a news outlet. No, we need a broadcasting license first. It's going to cost like $40,000 or $30,000 a year. But you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, so if you got the $40 large a year, you're going to pay your broadcasting license. How are the actual broadcasting news media sources paying for this $40,000? Guess what? They're getting bailed out by our government. I don't know if you know this, but Canada's media is state-run. Our media is owned, not in part or partially. Our media has been bailed out 3 times by our federal government. It is owned in full by our federal government. We don't have any, like you guys, you have Fox, you have this. I know it's all Mickey Mouse and it's all geopolitics and all that, but they're trying to block InfoWars in our country, so we can't even go to Infowars.com. They're trying to block so many things. So if something happens to us here in Canada, you'll never know about it in the States anymore.
No, and think about how easy, Mike, I think about this all the time. If something happened in New York, California, wherever, think about the fact that I could have no clue because they can censor just that area. We've seen them do this in war zones in the Middle East, right? Where you've got a story, boom, and you've got to be right there within the first couple of seconds to see what's going on in this other nation. and then it's gone. It's wiped. You have no idea what happened. So what's so interesting is you have the freedom to pick up that phone and take a video of something, but it's also just as easy for them to shut it down completely. And no one would ever know. You would never know.
I was getting threatened by some Australian news outlet that I'm spreading that I'm spreading misinformation about Australia with the Victoria lockdown in Victoria, Australia, where people were mass exiting Melbourne, and the lockdown was you had to get written permission printed off on your computer and signed by somebody to allow you to go see your family. That's how bad their lockdown was. You couldn't go out to buy groceries. They had like some sort of thing where they would ask you how far away from your house. You had to have some sort of app on your phone so you couldn't go so many feet away from your house. It's crazy. Now, they brought that because, you're missed this, you're this and that and this, and you're misinforming people in Canada about what we're doing here. Then, you know who was telling me? The people living there were telling me on the show what was happening there. And then now, people in Canada were telling me 8 months ago, Canada will never do what they did in Australia. I think there was a testing ground. Now Canada, Ontario's locked down. Quebec is locked down. Everything is locked down to that capacity where you can't even have a family member visiting you.
That's insane. That's absolutely... Don't you love that whenever you've got people, you and I both have some people that might contact us from different places to let us know exactly what's going on in their area.
Right.
They can even video it and send you documented information on it. And someone else will tell you, oh, no, you're just crazy. That's a conspiracy. The most latest thing that I have going on that I'm keeping in touch with people on, and this is actually in Australia as well, the whole deal with the Perth Mint is going on, right? And how their unallocated positions are they might be a little bit wacky. They're saying nothing's wrong. Peter Schiff is calling us tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists. Meanwhile, I've got 5 different people, and this is little old tiny me. Like, I can't imagine what John Adams is getting in DMs daily. But I've got 5 people that are letting me know exactly what's going on, and 2 of those people have allocated, segregated positions. Their metal should be there, and they should be able to receive it at any time. Mike, tell me why, if I had metal sitting in a vault or somewhere, I'm paying storage fees on it. I'm paying all these fees. Why can I not just pick up the phone and have it delivered to me? Why the hell would it take, excuse me for that, why the heck would it take me up to a year to be able to receive that metal?
Well, let's go back to 2012. German citizens outside of Deutsche Bank locations demanding their gold. And you know what Deutsche Bank told them? It's in the mail. And people are still waiting to this day from 2012 for their physical gold.
It's not there. And the most messed up thing about this is I figured out some little legal tidbits from this, and I can't say like who I got it from or why, but it is so hard to prove, and this could just be for Australia, but you have to have literally all that they have to have in their reserves, even for allocated positions, Mike, is 10%.
And they actually dropped it to 7.
This is insane. It's the greatest Ponzi scheme we've ever seen.
Well,
and I can't imagine how many people are stuck in these positions because they wanted that exposure, but they didn't quite know what they were getting into.
Well, okay, remember last week or the week and a half when you came on the show to talk to us, I told you about the future extraction of gold reserve. So, okay, we got this gold vein here 3 miles down. We could go ahead and start fractionally lending this gold out, even though it's still in the ground.
And this is madness, absolute madness, especially whenever you think about all the environmental laws globally that they're trying to establish. You could have Scamdemic 3.0 show up and everything gets shut down. All precious metals, I'm not just going to say silver, but like in the precious metals family, I would say that all of this you're walking a fine line the whole time as far as production and being able to get it in the hands, whether it be for retail investors or for industrial use cases, which is going to be more common. You're walking this fine line. As in any kind of hiccup, we could see that shortage happen. And I'm sure that the whole scamdemic is kind of what really bottlenecked this whole industry. And that was the cherry on top.
Well,
miners not being able to
20%,
do their thing.
30% over 20, 30% over spot, right?
Oh, it's insane.
And gold in China, I was reporting from Shanghai. Larry was reporting to me that people were buying from gold dealers. They were paying up to 30% over spot. I mean, it's going to be really tough to find gold in parts of China. It's really tough to find gold in a lot of places right now because there's more paper out there than there is the actual physical metal. Like silver, you have more derivatives and all kinds of garbage and signed documents of whatever reserves you own, and you're paying storage fees and Mickey Mouse. There's this much paper, and then that's how much there's above ground.
That's accurate. That's an accurate representation, guys.
This is what's above ground, people. This is what is floating around in paper and digital markets and all kinds of Mickey Mouse. That's how spoofed this market is.
And think about the moment that people actually want to take delivery on this. Now, whenever it comes to the iShares SLV, only the banks can take delivery of that, right? But even they might want that delivery, and the COMEX is going to go, oops, we don't know what happened. Sorry. We're doing the best we can.
Well, living in the times we are living, nobody is accountable for anything.
Oh, no.
Accountability.
100%.
So that happens. It's like, well, you know what? I'm forming an opinion, get lost. And that's it. It's over. It's over. No one's accountable for anything. Who's that American actor from your country that says, my name is, I forgot his name, he's got a mustache, and I have diabetes. And
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know.
Okay, that guy would go on like shows and stuff and speaking thing like before he got really sick, talking about accountability. No one's taking accountability. No one's taking. Since when is it wrong to make a mistake and account for something?
Yeah,
you know, it's crazy. You know how?
And it's as simple as saying, "Hey, I messed up. Let me fix it," or "I was wrong.
I'm sorry.
Now let me tell you what I know." You know, sorry for that. No. Mike, instead of that, they're like, let's just keep sandwiching it over. And we're just going to keep making it. And this is in every area of our lives, guys. We're not just talking about stocks here anymore. I mean, think about my generation. That's terrifying. I'm scared to grow up with these people. Heartless, soulless, zombie-eyed. It's all about the self, right? Just you, which is okay to a degree. But the ideas that people have today, which are just... It's just my opinion. It's clearly wrong, with no responsibility on top of that. It scares me because that's what created these kids, is there's no accountability for anything anymore.
Right.
None whatsoever. And I think that that's what messed up this generation so bad. It's scary to think about. And this is in every aspect, from being a small child and you should be punished to businesses getting away with things that they should never be able to get away with.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's just too much. There's just too much going on, and I don't even know where to start. Like, we don't, like, I made a video about this a few weeks back about our moral compasses are so off whack that you try to make everybody happy, but you try to also keep your sanity, right? And it's a tough game we're playing. It's a fine line we're walking, and there's so much happening. It's almost like, what are they trying to feed us today? What are they trying to tell us? What's the end game on this? What are they going to gain? What are they going to lose? What are they? I don't know. I think it's a big waste of time on their end, because in 23, maybe 24 years, I'll be dead. So what was the point of all this BS stuff when they could have just left us alone? I'm not even asking for anything from these people. I don't even want anything from them. Just leave us alone.
See, that's the problem, is they don't want to leave you alone, Mike. They want the power. Now, if you're just leaving me alone, you have no power. That's all I want in this world. Just let me live on my mountain. Let me be, and we'll be good. Don't mess with me. I don't mess with you. Everything's happy. But no, there's always somebody that wants to have that control, that power. They want to literally feel like they are playing the puppet show. They want to pull the strings. It's messed up. I don't know. Maybe some people are just born that way. Maybe the world didn't turn out what they thought it would be, and they just took advantage of that. And then, Mike, this is the sad thing too. People hate whenever I say this, but there is a large majority of the population that wants to be controlled.
Yes, they believe the government's going to come and save them.
Yeah, they like it. They like the coddling. They like every aspect of it. And it's, we're all born with different personality types. And sadly, a good portion of people are born with the type that just wants to basically be taken advantage of, I guess. I look at it and wake up every morning going, what the hell is happening? But I mean, what do you do about it?
You know what I'm hoping? Let me tell you what my end game or what I'm hoping for. I'm really hoping that your country really sticks to its constitution and people really, let's just say, resolve the situation they're in right now in America. That's what I hope for. Second, I hope America looks to the north and actually frees us. I really hope America comes and actually really brings us freedom. And I'm not talking about Saudi Arabia freedom and all that crap. I'm talking about real freedom and coming and freeing us in Canada. Because right now, we have our media against us. We have everything is against us. Everything is working against us. And I pray for a American occupy or take. Well, that wouldn't be an occupation. It would just be absorbed into the great American manifest destiny, right? But I really hope so because our healthcare system is crumbling. Our housing market, the house you live in, I don't even have to see that house. I could just look at the background you're in. That house in a city like a main city from where I live here is $1.6 million on no land.
That's insane.
That I don't
That's
even have to see the outside of
absolutely
your house.
insane.
I could just look at the inside of the wood paneling. That's already $1.6 million.
Oh, I can tell you right now, it's gone way up in price. I pray that they don't like put this in for the next time that we have to pay taxes or whatever. The cost of lumber today, Mike, these walls are more than a quarter of an inch thick. So they're not, it's not like some fake stuff. It's like legit wood, right? The whole house inside is all wood. And then the outside is steel, like steel siding. So I'm just looking at like commodities prices and thinking, holy, I was thinking, you know what, Mike, if I can't pay my mortgage, I'll just take these bad boys off right here. I'll just sell them piece by piece and pay my mortgage.
Yeah.
That's how stupid it is right now, though, right?
It is. It's so bad.
And I'm just thinking, I went to my grandma's house today. We did a gender reveal party for like my little sister or whatever. And they live in a really nice community. They are building, this is brand new, Mike. They're building new subdivisions, new gated communities in this area. And I remember as a kid, before 2008, they were doing this much building. And I'm going, oh, man.
But this time it's different. Amerifornia's coming.
It's possible. It is possible. But at the same time, I just don't know because the only way that it works is if they keep giving out bigger and bigger stimulus checks.
But not
or
only
just
that,
put the American people on UBI, right?
the American proper will be phased out like the Canadian proper has been phased out of their own real estate market. So the American proper eventually in the next 7 to 10 years will be phased out. You will not see a correction. We've been waiting for a correction since our 2010 Olympics, and we never got one. So you guys, this 2006, 7, and 8, I lived in Florida at that time. I know what happened. This is going to be a little bit different. This is an economic takeover.
This is scary because I don't know Mike, I don't know which direction this can go, and it freaks me out because normally, like, I've got a good timeline on what I think is going to happen. I'm not always right, but and I don't ever toot my own horn on things. Like normally, people are just like, "Whoa, you called that." I don't know what's going on anymore. At any day the bottom could fall out, or we just keep going on this upward trajectory, and it freaks me out because I know the further we go up, the harder we're coming down.
We have David F. in the comments saying, I don't want Biden's America taking over Canada. No. I said when America fixes its BS problems. And Biden
I think
is
Mike
one of them.
is saying once the American people get some people in line, we can only say so much on YouTube. Once we get some people in line, the guys in suits, or replace them all together, then America's back, baby, right? Like, then we can do our thing.
Because all I want, like, look, we're serfs. And you know what? I don't mind going back to that era because they left the people alone. They just leave them alone and just leave us alone. Let us live off the land. Let us die in peace. Just leave us alone. I don't want to... I just don't want to be told what to do. And the only constitution in existence today, well, that's in existence and being practiced today, is the constitution that you guys have. And that constitution that you guys have is the last light or the last beacon of light of hope for the rest of the world. Then once that light dims out or disappears, and the Constitution gets rewritten or reconstituted or reissued.
Oh, it's just like reading the Bible, right? However you interpret it.
Right.
So it's every time that you get a new person in the Supreme Court, it's being interpreted differently.
Mhm.
The Constitution, guys, is a good thing to look at and go, yes, I want this, but also, and I'm to a degree, it's not, I'm going to piss some people off again. It's not necessarily absolute. It was something that was written by man. It can be changed by man or woman if anybody's offended by me saying that. It's how they interpret it. They can change it up however they want to, and they've proven that. They could add to it. They could take stuff away if they wanted to. Do your own thing. I'm not telling you to go and break a bunch of laws, but I mean, me and Mike streaming, this could be against the law one day. Does that mean I'm going to stop? I don't know.
Yeah. I said the only way they're going to get rid of me or stop me from is by using a projectile of about 9 millimeters this big into my skull, because they don't have anything over me. I'm not afraid to die. That's the thing. And I know there's a lot of macho guys. Yeah, I'm not scared to die. And then when the time comes, they're crying and they're begging for their lives. I've already made my peace with God years ago, and there's a lot of things in place that happen, and a lot of things already, and all my will, everything is complete. You know, my life insurance, everything's, you know, I'm, you know what I mean, right?
No, I'm actually really happy that you brought this up, because a lot of people wonder, you know, how can you be so happy? Like, a lot of the people that know the same things that I know, they're like, why and how are you always so positive? And I go, look, you know what? This world is really messed up. It is really messed up. And I get that one day I'm the enemy today, right? But when are they going to do something? I don't know. I do feel like one day, whether it be the people or governments, I'm a problem to society because some talking head on the media said so. So what? What is that? Why should I care anymore? Do I care about the things that are happening? Yeah, because I want more people to be aware of it. But at the end of the day, if you are afraid of dying, then you're also going to be afraid to speak up or do anything. And just speak up. I'm not even saying go do anything violent. Your numbers are scary enough. A large crowd of angry people, that's scary. A large crowd of angry people that have motivation, direction, a plan as to like, what do we want to accomplish? That's even scarier. So I'm not even saying you have to resort to any kind of violence at all. But if you're scared to speak up or you're scared to die, I do think that means you're going to be scared to speak up one day.
Yep.
And just live every day like it's your last.
That's
that
what the
doesn't mean,
governments want.
YOLO.
The governments want you to be afraid to die because they got one over you.
Like, why would I? That's got to be even scarier. The person that doesn't care. Like, you're like, okay, like because I've made my peace. I'm good with God. You know, whatever happens from here, that's part of his plan. That's my opinion. Again, every day I'm just trying to think, you know, what should I be doing, not just for myself, but, you know, for him too. And I think that really makes somebody at peace. You know, I have spurts where I get a little bit angry, but I have to step back and go, you know what? It's out of my hands. I'm just doing the best that I can do while I'm here. I'm just a vessel, right?
I think the majority of the people are caught in the grip of the lying mainstream media, and that's the madness that we're seeing now, and that's what I'm afraid of.
They've got it on a perfect cycle, and whatever flavor you want, they've got it. They've also got it down to a key where no matter where you're flipping through channels at, they're all going to be on commercials at the same time. You don't like what Fox News is saying, and you go to CNN, they're saying the same things. It's just a different flavor. And they even got their commercials lined up. It's so insane. The whole day is planned, right? Project Mockingbird or whatever.
Operation Mockingbird, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super groups. Appointed super groups that are not elected, that we don't know. They wear khaki pants and they smell like breath mints. Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Yes. All right, Fringe, you're going to get back on YouTube, or are they going to let you back on soon, or what?
I think I have another week or so. It was only a 2-week suspension, which is better than the first time that this ever happened to me, Mike. They did 95 days. everybody that I talked to, none of them ever had to be gone for that. The first time that this ever happened to me, it was 95 days.
Hmm.
And I went, oh, wow, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But my subscribers, they stayed. I have a Discord. I talk to them there, Twitter, or wherever. So I do stay in touch with people. And, that night that they gave me my first strike, I was like, oh, well, I better figure out how to stream on Twitch and Facebook and Periscope and DLive and wherever I can all at one time. Just so that way when times like this happen, I can still go on DLive or somewhere else.
Hmm.
So hopefully like a week or so. But I know most people are comfortable with YouTube. I get it. It's got the best layout. It's hard to leave it. It's the easiest to navigate. So I get why people stay. But guys, you got to look for the other options that are out there too. Because I don't think me and Mike will be able to stay on YouTube forever.
No.
Any,
That's why
any
a lot
day,
of
the
people
rug could
have
be
been
ripped out.
actually backing up my stuff on Library.
Mhm.
So, and other places. So it's nice to see that people are taking some of those shows or discussion pieces and throwing them up, and hope that's nice to see that. I don't know, the digital mainstream mafias, whether it's mainstream media, mainstream medical mainstream. It's all there's. I see the black market exploding. The black market getting
Oh, yeah.
bigger as more and more things start to be handled or good for the black markets, because there shouldn't be total control of everything by governments, and that's a big no-no. There needs to be a private sector.
Mhm. I would agree 100%. I think it's crazy how even most of the farmers markets that you go to, somebody has to pay a fee to the government to be able to sell their cucumbers to you without getting in trouble, which is silly. If I want to do business with some lady because I like what she grows, like, what is and we're not even talking about like illegal like what you would think is illegal activities, like somebody selling drugs in an alley somewhere. We're literally talking about buying fruits and vegetables or raw cow's milk. I'm an adult. Why can I not choose to have that? I feel like some random person's crops are probably safer than whatever Monsanto wants to put in me.
You know what this brings me back to? Boston Tea Party.
Yeah.
Back to Massachusetts, back to New England, back to when people were sick of paying taxes on the crown. And what did they do? They threw all their fresh tea in the Harvard Yard? Oh, no, Harvard Yard, Boston, like, I don't know. They're in Massachusetts.
Boston River.
Yeah, I've been to Massachusetts many times, but I should know where it was. But yes, and that sparked other things, and that started the gears rotate. Gears started to mesh, and things started to move forward. But
We just need that moment, just a moment like that again. I think I've been saying since I was like 10 years old. I've been screaming at the top of my lungs, like, when are we going to dump the tea in the harbor?
Mhm.
And I'm saying this in not actual tea. Like, I don't actually expect you guys to go dump tea somewhere. But when are we going to say enough is enough?
Mhm.
I mean, our dollars control everything. Guys, here's the thing here. Here's how you get some power. Prep up a little bit. At bare minimum, have 3 months worth of storable food, have some clean water. And guess what? You can really go on strike then, because you don't have to pay any of these corporations a dime.
Mhm.
Then they start crumbling. They start falling apart. Things start getting exposed.
You know who I see
Oh,
going out?
people will listen to you when they don't get paid.
Well, I'm going to say this right now to you, because you'll remember me saying this, and you could look at and say, yeah, I remember a guy talking to this guy in Canada who said this. You know who's going to go, and it's gonna be like very a big shock to everybody? Amazon. Amazon's going to be run into a lot, even with this whole COVID thing. They're having troubles. They're having major internal struggles.
I mean, there is some
Major.
truth to that. And I don't know what you're
Major.
talking about necessarily, but for me, some of the stuff that I know internally, policy changes. Amazon is still see, a lot of you guys think, oh my God, Amazon, this giant football-sized warehouse field, sends me all my goods. No. Third-party sellers, someone like you, me, Mike, we can get on there. Say I've got I want to sell agenda planners. I can sell those all day long on Amazon. Most of the time you're buying from a third-party seller.
That's
Well,
correct.
guess what? Everything is being regulated over there to a T now. And you think that that's good. it's good not to sell knockoffs to people. I have no business selling Nike wear unless I made a deal with Nike. I understand that. But no. I mean, we're talking about having to be certified in areas where you shouldn't be. There should be no certification for certain things. Amazon's going to shoot themselves in the foot because they're not ready yet to do some of the policy changes that they're doing. And I don't think that they realize that, Mike, because, years ago, people actually had their own person that they could call or email a seller if they had a problem. Now you don't.
No.
Now you're dealing with some foreign person, which there's not really anything wrong with that, but there is, right? Because they don't actually understand my problem, and all they have is a book to go by. So to get to any kind of real person, it's not. I mean, they're already doing it, and you see the Chinese takeover on there.
Yeah.
Amazon was supposed to be the place where you didn't buy a bunch of Chinese crap.
Right.
Well,
and they
now
got
you're
the
buying a
best
bunch of
shipping
Chinese
rates
crap.
from China. And
Yep.
I pay $30 to ship a letter to somewhere in Canada with tracking. Yeah, I know. You have no idea.
Oh.
Yeah, you have no
I would
idea
be
how bad it's.
surprised if Amazon fell, but at the same time, I'm seeing what they're doing, and it's not smart. If anything, they should relax a little bit so more everyday people can actually get on there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying necessarily turn it into eBay with a bunch of used stuff, but I mean, you've got to make it a little bit easier for someone to even get on the platform. It used to be really easy. Now you've got to jump through 3 different hoops just to be allowed to sell bracelets or something. It's crazy.
All right, French Files, it was nice having you on for 40 minutes. Woo!
Oh, wow. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. No, that's okay. I'm wrapping up my show. It's my 3rd hour, and I appreciate you sharing the last time you were on show on your channel. I appreciate that. Guys, please go subscribe. Are you on other platforms? Can you let us know?
I sent you a Twitter thing, and most of the time I'll tweet out some stuff from Twitter. I think in the Twitter thing it had my D Live in there.
Okay.
But guys, if you want to find me, just search Fringe Files. I've got the really weird avatar picture thing, whatever you want to call it, alien. It's something.
Well, we can find you on there. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
thank you guys.
We'll talk soon. God bless you.
All right, bye, Mike.
Bye. Thank you. All right, guys, that is Fringe Files on the show on Mike in the Night. It is Mike in the Night, people. We couldn't get the Raven on. I'm very sorry, but we got a couple of callers on that we haven't had in a while. Let's see if we can get Globetrotter Mike. I got his message late. I just saw it now, actually. Liam is messaging me, too. We'll get him on, too. We'll get the Raven on again next time. We'll work towards getting... we could flip-flop between some guests. Maybe we could get Supreme Cannon on next week. I don't know. Maybe the week after. Maybe we could do a live stream with Supreme Cannon when he comes to visit me. Lots going on, guys. Lots going on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me do one last channel plug. We have over 200 people watching. So I want to say a very, very, very special thank you to all the YouTube celebrities on the channel tonight. I want to thank them all for coming on. And very special thank you. So let's start off. We had King Cash YouTube on the channel tonight. In the comments, sorry. Go ahead and subscribe to him. Alaska Prepper was in the comments today, too. Live today. Don't forget to subscribe to him, too. And we had Fringe Files, who was just on right now. Don't forget to subscribe to her, if you don't mind. There's her link right there. And let me go full screen on that. You don't have to see me. There it is, the 3 channels. These guys were in our comments tonight. Thank you so much. King Cash, YouTube, Alaska Prepper, and Fringe Files in the comments on Mike in the Night. Okay, so guys, let's do a last wrap-up here of the channel. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The channel is very heavily shadow banned. Don't forget to set your reminder for next week's Mike in the Night. I want to thank everyone that's joining the channel. Go ahead and join the channel if you like. Here it is, guys. Next week's Mike in the Night. Wake up. Don't forget to set your reminders for that. Housing takeover this Wednesday. Give us your money. So, guys, a lot of people are joining the channel here. Thank you so much for joining the channel and being part of the cause here. So, next week's, this Wednesday show, housing takeover, Commonwealth for Common People. Set your reminders for that. Also, guys, the new Teespring, guys, I Love Amerifornia is already, I've had to get my lawyer to write them a letter to allow me to sell my I Love Amerifornia t-shirts. They're not cheap, though. I don't know why I'm having a tough time lowering the price, but here's a link to the I Love Amerifornia t-shirt. Is out for people anywhere could wear this. I love Amerifornia because Amerifornia is basically what's happening across America. America's turning into California, people, and it's going to be terrible. Instagram, guys, don't forget to message me here on Instagram. If you have any messages, send me show tips here. I'll be more than happy to check them out. Guys, don't forget to check out Art by Dano. There's this new release section. I told him to put new releases. He's got new releases. So anything he makes new is going to go in there. What doesn't matter what it is. All new stuff goes here, regardless if it's rock, anime, whether it's history, movies, it all goes here. New stuff. Art by Dano. And guys, music by Ralphie.co.New Zealand. Don't forget to check him out, and don't forget to donate to his live radio here, where he rebroadcasts Mike in the Night in New Zealand. Check it out. I want to thank Michelle DeSantis. I hope I said that right. Michelle DeSantis sent me $5. Woo! Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you so much for the cause. Guys, you know all the money you guys sent me and Stal and all those people? I bought like lighting. I fixed my computer again. I got a 4K. This camera is 4K. It's up to 4K. So I bought that for like $230, I think it was. So everything goes back into it. I don't know how long they're gonna allow me to be on here. I don't know how long they're gonna, I'm gonna post my lawyer's information in the description of the channel. So if anybody wants to get a hold of or has a problem about something I'm saying, don't contact me. Okay? I'm busy with my family. I'm busy with you guys, talking with you guys on Skype, hanging out, doing our stuff. If you want to call me about something I did and you want to sue me or you want to have whatever, I'm just going to put my lawyer's information in there. Contact my lawyer via mail and don't waste my time. Don't waste yours. You know what I'm saying? If you have an issue, go ahead and take it up with my lawyer. He's waiting for letters to arrive. So that's what I want to throw out there. I want to make time for you guys, my family, what I do at work and hang out with you guys and be here. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let me just really quickly here throw on our last national anthem here. Mike in the Night is streaming. Thank you so much, Rex Cohan. Craig Cook, Lord Humongous, Michelle, Sean, Grindhouse Cartoons. That's art by Dano. Who else is here? Matthew. Linny Poo, thanks for coming on. Blunt News, thanks for the $1, buddy. Layla, Lord Humongous, Pertridge, I don't know, I can't pronounce that properly. Elizabeth, Craig Cook, Terry Tony in the house, Alan Howick, thank you for coming tonight on Mike of the Night. Layla. Lots of good guests. Guys, if you're just tuning in, go back to the beginning of the show. It was a great show. Share it on your social media if you like. French Files for coming on. V-Man293, King Cash, YouTube in the house. Hopefully we can get him on the show to give us an update on what's happening in his neck of the woods. What else? Who else do we got here? Scott in the house. Scott Horeca in the house. I want to thank everyone in the UK. I want to thank everyone that's rebroadcasting. There's actually a group that's actually rebroadcasting on some small social media site in Iceland, and Mike in the Night's on there too in Iceland, in Reykjavik. Thank you for that, fans in Iceland that watch the channel. You guys are the best. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys are the best. All right, guys. Mike Martins here, signing off. Thanks for joining us. Take care. And if you can't take care, please